I'm me, Ji Qianming, and tonight is our graduation dinner. My buddies and I are eating at our usual street food spot, and I am trying so hard to act cool because the girl I've liked for 3 years, Jiang Youngying, is sitting at the next table looking like a literal angel in a white dress. So I do what any genius in love does. I grab my beer and shout, "Let's go, boys," like I'm some kind of drinking legend. My friends immediately start fake dying. I can't. I really can't. Ugh. They groan, clutching their stomachs like I just challenged them to a duel. These guys have never thrown an Oscar-worthy performance like this in their lives. I see what you're doing, idiots. You're trying to make me look tough in front of her. I love you all, you absolute clowns. Jiang Youngying glances over, surprised I can apparently drink like a champion. I cannot. I give my friends a sneaky thumbs up under the table like we just won a war. The night winds down. Everyone's getting sad about graduation, about all of us going our separate ways. I drink more beer, my face turns red as a tomato, and we all toast to friendship one last time. Then I see her getting up to leave. My heart does a backflip. I grab my bag, which has a blue rose hidden inside, very smooth, very secret agent of me, and I sprint after her, barely managing a goodbye to my friends. Big mistake. My friends immediately start gossiping behind my back like a bunch of annies. He's totally going to confess. I saw him sneak a rose into his bag, and then, I cannot believe these traitors. They grab the beer bottles I left behind and follow me. Like a secret backup squad. Like paparazzi. My own friend group, spying on my love confession. Incredible loyalty, terrible privacy boundaries. I trail behind Jiang Youngying and her friends, rehearsing my confession in my head like I'm preparing for the Olympics of romance. My friends, hiding a few steps behind me, are getting impatient. Why hasn't he made his move yet? I'm getting sleepy waiting. Should we just push him forward? No, let the man cook. We all end up in a quiet, dimly lit plaza. Perfect romantic lighting. This is it. This is my moment. Fueled by alcohol and pure desperation, I pull out my blue rose, symbol of true love, very romantic, very expensive, very much about to be wasted. And then, a whole squad of people comes marching up, surrounding some guy in a sharp suit, hair perfectly gelled, holding 99 red roses like he robbed a flower shop. He looks like he stepped out of a shampoo commercial. He goes, "Jiang Youngying, I've liked you for 3 years. Since the day I saw you at training camp, I was hooked. I knew I wasn't good enough back then, so I spent 3 years improving myself. Now I'm finally ready to stand in front of you. These 99 roses are my heart. Jiang Youngying, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend? Excuse me?" That's my line. That's literally the speech I rehearsed in my head 5 minutes ago, word for word practically. Did this man hack into my brain? Jiang Youngying blushes, takes the roses, and nods. His whole entourage erupts into cheering like their team just won the championship. Meanwhile, me? I'm just standing there, frozen. 1,000 emotional horses are stampeding through my chest. And of course I know this guy. Campus celebrity, top of the grade, soccer team captain, student council president. The whole, main character, package. He's basically the sun. I'm not even a distant star. I'm space dust. Some rich, handsome plot twist villain just swooped in and stole Snow White right out from under my nose. And I'm left holding a single sad rose like a discount Romeo. Behind me, my friend's squad has turned to stone. Li Tao checks his phone, where, with absolutely tragic timing, he had typed in glowing letters, "Qianming, one in the world tonight." He quietly deletes it like that'll fix anything. "Should we go beat that guy up?" Someone whispers. "No, let's not make things worse for him." And right when everyone's celebrating the new power couple of the century, Jiang Youngying suddenly notices me standing alone like an abandoned NPC. "Ji Qianming, what are you doing here?" Everyone stares at me, holding my one sad little blue rose like it's a weapon I'm about to use. The silence is so loud I can hear my own dignity leaving my body. So obviously, I do the only sensible thing. I lie through my teeth like a smooth, unbothered legend. "Your flower selection has bad face-reading energy," I say, completely deadpan. "Too much fire in it. This blue rose will cool it down. 99 plus 1 makes 100. Perfect completion. Full circle. Very auspicious." And I really don't know where this confidence came from. Maybe the alcohol, maybe pure humiliation powering my legs. I calmly walk up and stick my blue rose dead center into his bouquet of 99 roses. like I'm some wise traveling monk blessing a wedding. Then I turn and walk away with zero hesitation, like a man who has never been embarrassed in his entire life. Behind me, total silence. Jiang Youngying, golden boy, the entire friend group. Someone whispers, "Is this wise man? I mean this psycho. Do you know him?" The second I turn the corner, I sprint. Full marathon mode. Tears building up, getting blown away by the wind. Because why did I think reading those cheesy self-help quotes about finishing what you start was a good idea? I should have just stayed home and finished a bowl of noodles instead. At least noodles don't reject you in front of 99 roses. I run until I'm a sweaty, gasping mess in some random street I don't recognize. No shops open, barely any streetlights, definitely no taxis. Looks like I accidentally jogged myself into the edge of town. Great. Love that for me. I catch my breath and tell myself, it's fine, Jiang Youngying was just a high school chapter. There'll be better people later, no need to be dramatic about it, while being extremely dramatic about it internally. Then, as I'm walking back like a tired little ghost, a sports car comes roaring down the street. Inside, some rich, flashy guy with his arm around a glamorous woman, definitely not watching the road. "Young Master Hua, there's someone ahead," the woman shrieks. I turn around just in time to see headlights the size of the sun zooming toward me at lightning speed. Then, tires screaming, a sickening thud, and apparently I go flying through the air like a poorly thrown frisbee before crash landing and rolling to a stop. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Great night. First heartbreak, now hit and run. The driver gets out, swearing about where I popped out from, checks if I'm breathing, then immediately collapses backward in horror. He's dead. He's actually dead. He slaps the woman, screams at her to forget everything she just saw, or else, and they speed off into the night, leaving my very still, very not breathing body alone on the road. Meanwhile, completely unbeknownst to me, because I am, unconscious, a strange silver light starts glowing on my chest, slowly forming some kind of ancient, mysterious pattern. Cool detail. Wish I were awake to see it. Would have made great content. Elsewhere, in a fancy hotel suite that has nothing to do with my tragic backstory yet, a man in black hears a knock. "Room service," says a cheerful fat guy pushing a cart. The man in black cautiously opens the door, and the fat guy starts listing fake fancy dishes like he's doing stand-up comedy. Steamed lamb, steamed bear paw, steamed deer tail, for a cart that's obviously way too small to hold all that. Then he flips the lid and reveals a gun. 3 gunshots later, the man in black survives by summoning an entire metal safe out of thin air to block the bullets, because apparently that's a normal ability to have. The fat guy casually reveals he already knows the man's secret power and his ranking among some organization. The man in black, weirdly calm for someone who just got shot at, asks how the waiter figured out he wasn't really hotel staff. Fat guy, very pleased with himself. I memorized every staff member's face from the front desk schedule. Rookie stuff. Man in black. No. It's because no 5-star hotel hires a waiter this fat. That's the real giveaway. The fat guy's cigarette nearly falls out of his mouth. Personally attacked. Visibly offended. Internally combusting. Then, in true, actually I'm terrifying, fashion, darkness creeps out from under his feet. The whole room turns ice cold, and the man in black goes pale with horror. You're the ghost lord, and we end on that cliffhanger, completely unrelated to me being dead on a sidewalk somewhere. Cool. Very cool. Great chapter for me personally. Where am I? I open my eyes. Bloody road. Strange street. Sun barely coming up. I immediately do the responsible thing. Pat myself down like a worried mother checking for missing limbs. Head still here. Guts are not on the outside. Legs work. And down there, I check. Good news. Everything's accounted for. Truly the most important survival check. Wait, I just got hit by a car. So why is there not a single scratch on me? Then I notice it, a silver pattern sitting on my chest, made of tiny diamond shapes, 6-pointed, like a snowflake designed by a very dramatic jeweler. Before I can even process this, the entire world flips upside down, and I get yanked into some gray, foggy, dimension-looking void. Very ominous. Very main character moment. I love this for me. I poke the fog. Normal fog. I touch the ground. Definitely ground. Even though I literally cannot see it through the haze. Then the second my hand touches the floor, Boom. Blinding light shoots out from every inch of the ground. Fog evaporates instantly, and I'm standing on a giant mirror, so clean it looks unreal, perfectly reflecting my shocked face back at me. Words appear on the mirror. Initial soul energy collection complete. Mirror flower system activated. Basic ability not flower unlocked. Talent ability replicate unlocked. Soul energy visualization enabled. A system. This is a system. This is the legendary protagonist starter pack. The plot armor, the cheat code, the tool every novel hero uses to become rich and unstoppable and irresistible to women. I try talking to it like an idiot. Explain yourself. Nothing. Open the manual. Nothing. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the most handsome of them all? Nothing. Hey Siri. Still nothing. You absolute disappointment of a system. Then I notice the text has slightly different coloring. So, genius detective work. I poke it with my finger. A pop-up appears. Oh, it's TOUCHSCREN. This whole time I've been talking to a phone with extra steps. Not flower. Changes physical rules on reflective surfaces. Level 1 dev note. You could even use this to look at. You know. Wink, excuse me? I am a pure and innocent young man. Why would I understand that reference? I 100% understand the reference. Okay, kind of interesting, but also, everyone else in these stories gets fire powers, lightning powers, teleportation. I get bathroom mirror shenanigans. Cool. Very cool starter ability. Truly blessed by the heavens. But wait, I also have a talent ability. Talent sounds powerful. Talent sounds like destiny calling my name. I tap, replicate, replicate. After sustained contact with someone's leaf pattern, copy their ability. Note 1. Copy time depends on pattern complexity. Note 2. Copied ability resets to current system level. Note 3. Each level unlocks one more replication slot, max 6. Note 4. Copied abilities upgrade when the system upgrades. Dev note. Geez, how did you end up with a skill this broken? Okay, this one's actually insane. A literal copy cheat power. Except, small problem. I have to make sustained contact with someone's mystery pattern thing. Which means what exactly? Do I have to hug a stranger for 10 minutes? Beat them up first? Use my mirror trick to seduce them into a movie date? I sigh dramatically. A god-tier power just handed to me. Completely useless because I have no idea how to access it. It's like being given a gorgeous woman who's totally into me. Except I myself am. Not currently operational, if you catch my drift. Sulking. I tap, soul energy visualization, soul energy collection. When emotions spike hard, a person's soul loosens and leaks energy. This gets collected for system updates. Progress. 0 out of 1000 dev note. Shock. Terror. Euphoria. And, cursed little thing called love. Soul energy, huh? I remember old folklore. Humans have 3 souls and 7 spirits, and big shocks can knock them loose. I actually had this happen as a kid. Got chased by a stray dog. Ran a fever for days. Doctors useless. Until my grandma called in the local shaman lady, who did a soul-calling ritual with my clothes. I had a fever dream about wandering in darkness until a golden light called my name, and woke up fever-free. So basically, my system levels up by scaring people, manipulating them, and I felt my soul leave my body reading this one. Breaking innocent girls' hearts? Great. Love that my road to power apparently runs through emotional damage. Very heroic. Very ethical. Whatever, I'll figure it out as I go. I shrug it off and start walking home. Meanwhile, completely unrelated to my very normal Tuesday. Did you guys see the news? There was an explosion on one floor of the Hyatt building. Yeah, they're saying it was an electrical thing. Puffed. Not that simple, Li Tao whispers, eyes wide. My friend was renting a room on the floor below. Said he heard gunshots before the explosion and saw a shadow jump off the building. That's the 38th floor. I walk into our rented apartment, and Li Tao is whispering with our other roommate, Wang Wenrui, eyes wide like he just heard government secrets. Hey Qianming, where were you last night? We were worried. Internet cafe. All night, lie. Total lie. Can't exactly say. I got hit by a car and woke up with a magic system. Can I? Turns out it's moving out day. Li Tao's leaving at 2. Wang Wenrui's leaving too, and they ask when I'm heading home. Still packing. I mumble, which is also a lie, because here's the thing nobody knows about me. I'm an orphan. Grew up in an orphanage. This rental apartment is literally the only place I have, half paid by government support, half by my own part-time work. I can't exactly go home because home doesn't exist for me. While Li Tao and Wang Wenrui go back to families waiting for them, I just go back to myself. Cool. Fun. Love that for me. I do not love that for me. Li Tao pats my shoulder, all dramatic big brother energy. Be careful staying here alone. World's getting weird lately. Apparently, there are actual superhumans now. Superhumans? Oh, buddy, if only you knew I'm now basically the Walmart version of one. I think about the Hyatt explosion, about my brand new mirror touchscreen magic system, about my completely useless copy powers, ability, and then my brain goes, wait, what about not flower? Maybe I can actually test that one. Only issue. I need someone standing in front of a mirror, and my roommates are too busy packing to do me this one simple favor. Tragic. The universe owes me nothing, apparently. But then, miracle of miracles, Li Tao struts over to the bathroom mirror to fix his hair, humming some sad breakup song, while doing weird body roll dance moves that genuinely hurt to witness. Perfect. I quietly activate my power. While Li Tao is mid-debate over whether to part his hair down the middle or comb it into a slicked-back disaster, a pale woman in a white dress slowly appears behind his reflection, long black hair covering her face, hands reaching for his throat. A scream like a dying pig erupts from the bathroom. Wang Wenrui sprints over. I follow, very calmly, definitely not the cause of this. Li Tao is on the floor, white as a ghost, pointing a shaking finger at the mirror. There's Sadako in there. We look. Mirror shows 3 completely normal reflections and a sunny window. No horror movie ghost in sight. Wang Wenrui kicks him. You absolute donut. Why Sadako specifically? Why not a zombie while you're at it? Li Tao, slowly standing up, mutters to himself. Maybe I've just been pulling too many all-nighters. I'm holding back laughter so hard my face hurts. And then, a little notification pops up in my head. Li Tao Soul Energy 5 Progress Bar, 5 1000 SOH. That's how you farm soul energy. Scaring people. I am, unfortunately, built different. I pat Wang Wenrui's shoulder, smiling like a man with 0 secrets. Come on, nothing happened. Let's go. The second we step out, another pig scream. Zombie. This time Mirror Li Tao has become a pale, hollow-eyed zombie in old-timey Qing dynasty robes, hopping out of the mirror like a horror movie reject. Li Tao Soul Energy 7. Li Tao absolutely loses it, scrambling out of the bathroom on all fours, chanting prayers to every deity he can remember. He changes his train ticket from 5 p.m. to 2 p.m. on the spot, insists on leaving immediately with Wang Wenrui, and grips my hand like we're saying goodbye before war. Qianming, be careful. This place is cursed. I nod solemnly. Sorry, buddy. You were today's sacrifice for science. Afternoon. Roommate's gone. Apartment finally empty, which means testing time. I grab a small spare mirror, toss it in the air, and my chest pattern flickers. The mirror just floats, hovering in midair like it forgot gravity exists. Oh, this is big. Changing physical rules, apparently, includes gravity. I'm basically Magneto, but only for mirrors. A very specific, mildly impressive superpower. Of course, since I'm new at this, my control is baby deer on ice levels of wobbly. I try moving it left, right, up, down, then attempt to flip, and the mirror suddenly shakes violently and smashes on the floor into 100 pieces. Oops. Patience, Qianming. Patience. Reflective surfaces, reflective surfaces. I grab a bowl of water and try the same trick. The water's surface shows a shimmering image of a very famous overseas adult film actress in a very dramatic pose. I slam that image away immediately, face burning. Pure soul. Pure mind. Definitely didn't enjoy that for even 1 second. If water reflects, can I control water too? I stare at it with the intensity of a man trying to move mountains with his mind. Nothing. Just a few sad ripples. I test windows. 4 tiles. The TV screen. Pattern emerges. The power scales with how reflective the surface actually is. Mirrors equals full control. Water equals ripples only. Tile and TV equals basically nothing. Also, the illusions I summon get weaker the less reflective the surface is. Full detailed Sadako and zombie on a mirror, but barely a blurry shape on a TV screen. Great. So my superpower is basically incredible birthday party magician, terrible combat unit. Cool. Very cool. Definitely going to win fights with this. But wait, is this a hard limit of the power, or just because I'm bad at it? I grab one of the broken mirror shards and run outside. I find a watermelon-sized rock, place it down, grip the shard tight, take a deep breath. A faint blue light flashes along the broken edge. The little shard suddenly feels sharp, like impossibly sharp, the kind of sharp where just looking at it makes your skin hurt sharp. SHHK? One quick slice. The rock now has a deep, perfectly smooth cut 5 centimeters into it. Like a katana did that. Not a literal broken bathroom mirror shard. Okay. This power might not be entirely useless after all. Okay, so apparently my mirror shards are secretly tiny swords now. Incredible. I could basically become a budget assassin with throwing mirrors, redirecting them midair, going full ninja on people who deserve it. My brain is already spiraling into action movie fantasies. Truly humble beginnings for a future legend. Only downside, I should probably go buy more mirrors. Can't be a mirror ninja with one broken compact mirror. That's just sad. Evening rolls around. Streets getting quiet, people rushing home for dinner. Meanwhile, in some random alley, a man in black, bleeding badly, coat soaked dark with blood, limps out, cursing under his breath. That fat bastard was actually the Ghost Lord. If I don't patch this wound soon, I'm done. This is Ren-E. He's been hiding in that alley all day because daylight equals too many witnesses. Now that it's dark, he finally moves. Meanwhile, completely unaware that any of this exists, I'm walking home, swinging 2 grocery bags, humming a little tune, basically floating with happiness. Gaokow's done. I have superpowers. Life is good. I am the luckiest teenager alive. Foreshadowing alert. I am extremely not the luckiest teenager alive. The second I reach my building, a shadow lunges from the stairwell and presses something cold against the back of my head. Don't move. This is real. A gun. Against my skull. So fast, I didn't even register what happened before I was already caught. All my big dreams about becoming an unstoppable superpowered legend, dead before I even took step 1. I panic blurt. Sir, I don't have cash on me today, can I WeChat pay you? This guy, Ren-E, was clearly mid-villain monologue and did not expect to be offered mobile payment options. Imagine robbing someone at gunpoint and they ask if you take Apple Pay. Shut up. Open the door. Don't try anything stupid. I climb the stairs stiff as a board, hands shaking so bad I can't even get my key in the lock. The man behind me is internally screaming. I'm bleeding out and you're fumbling like it's your first day with hands. Door finally opens. We go in. He locks it, draws every curtain, cuts the phone line, and then, gun still aimed at me, demands alcohol, bandages. Now, I scramble through drawers like my life depends on it, it does, and somehow produce alcohol, bandages, herbal medicine, even bruise-healing liquor, because Li Tao, blessed soccer player roommate, apparently stocks first aid like a small pharmacy. Thank you, Li Tao. Your shin injuries saved my life today. Ren-E starts treating his wound, slowly relaxing his guard as I act like a trembling, terrified little chicken. Plot twist. I'm not actually that scared. Well, I am, genuinely, but I'm also thinking. Because here's the thing. A bleeding gunman hiding specifically in MY Rundown. No camera, no security, low population apartment building isn't a coincidence. This guy picked this spot on purpose. And worse, I just spotted a pattern on his hand. The same kind of pattern as my own mirror flower system. This man might have a leaf pattern too, which means this isn't a normal criminal. This is a possible superpowered psycho, and rushing in like an idiot would get me killed instantly. So, brilliant master plan time. I need to confirm if it's really a leaf pattern. How? By touching it. Obviously, because subtlety is not my strong suit. Let me help you, big guy, I say, sliding my hand toward his wrist like the world's least convincing nurse. Ren-Ye's eyes flash with danger the moment my fingers brush the pattern, and his leg snaps out at lightning speed. Thwack! I go flying backward like a human sandbag, crash through the coffee table, roll across the floor, and end up clutching my chest in genuine, non-performative agony. That kick was not a joke. A little harder and my ribs would be confetti. Still, gritting through pain, I switch back to pitiful victim mode. Big guy, why'd you kick me? I just wanted to put medicine on you, Rin, looking pale and furious because his wound just reopened from that kick. I told you. Don't. Try anything. He raises his arm, and a gun just materializes out of thin air into his hand. Wait. Wait. I clearly remember him setting that gun down on the table earlier. I glance over. Yep, table's empty. The gun's gone. So either this man is a wizard, or he just confirmed something very, very important about himself. Good thing I didn't try anything stupid. That disappearing, reappearing gun just confirmed it. This man is 100% a superpowered freak with a gun. Cool. Love discovering that while he's still pointing said gun at my face. We stare at each other for a few seconds. Rin-e looks at me, quivering like a scared little bunny, totally non-threatening, and slowly lowers the gun. Yeah, this kid's clearly too much of a coward to be a problem. He has no idea. Don't come near me again. That was a warning. Next time, his voice goes ice cold, and honestly, in his head, I'm just a disposable tool. If the tool misbehaves, you toss it. Simple math for a man like him. I'm sweating buckets, having just survived almost getting kicked into the afterlife, when my system mirror lights up in my brain with new text. Leaf pattern detected. Fantasist. Begin replication? Yes/no. Replication progress. 0/120th seconds. Fantasist. Interesting name. If this guy can literally manifest fantasies into reality, why was he hiding outside someone's apartment bleeding instead of just summoning his own alcohol and bandages? My brain immediately clicks. Maybe he can only materialize one thing at a time. When the gun appeared, the other item must have vanished. Then a bigger thought hits me. If this guy is superpowered and still got beaten half to death, who beat him? Another superpowered person? Explosion at the Hyatt. Gunfire. A shadow jumping off the 38th floor. Things are connecting. I need more information before I do anything dramatic. Meanwhile, Rin-e finishes patching himself up and peeks through the curtains, scanning outside. You live alone? Yep. Where were you earlier? Grocery store. Where's the stuff? I point to my 2 big plastic bags. He digs through them, pauses, and stares at me like I've lost my mind. Why do you have this many mirrors? Time for my masterpiece performance. I lower my voice, eyes wide with terror. Listen, man. This house. It's cursed. His face changes immediately. Cursed? Like actually haunted? I lean in, voice trembling for maximum dramatic effect. I got this place so cheap because people died here. Multiple people. I launch into a horror story about a family of 3 murdered on Christmas. Psycho breaking in, stabbing the parents, skinning them in front of their daughter. And just as he's about to skin the kid too, police arrive and save her. Except the kid won't talk, until suddenly she sings this creepy little nursery rhyme about Christmas presents, and her parents turning into Santa, and finally, herself turning into Santa too. Rin-e visibly shivers. The room actually feels colder. Then what happened? I glance at my mental mirror, little black numbers floating up nonstop. Rin-e soul energy 6, 7, 9. You scared yet, big guy? The next morning, the girl was gone. They found her body, skin half removed, fruit knife next to her, only her fingerprints on it. So she skinned herself. Rin-e blurts out before catching himself, immediately scowling. You're making this up. People can't skin themselves. Cut the games. He scoffs, sits cross-legged on the couch, and starts meditating like the unimpressed adult in the room. I say nothing. I just casually grab another mirror from my bag and hang it on the wall, muttering as I do. Mirrors ward off evil. Ward off evil. Nyo-nyo, sweetie, I'm sorry your whole family died horribly, but please don't come bother me. I'm just an innocent bystander here. This absolutely wrecks Rin-e's meditation focus. Bro just told a ghost story and is now acting like he's the one in danger. And also, I'm just an innocent bystander, don't bother me, is basically inviting the ghost over for tea. Genius. Shut up. Okay, time passes. Rin-e opens his eyes again, irritation flashing. That fat bastard, he curses internally. Turns out the fat guy's mysterious, underworld energy got left inside him during their fight, and it's stubbornly locking away 80% of his power. Meditation isn't undoing it one bit. Then he actually looks around the room and freezes. The apartment is now fully decorated. A dozen-plus mirrors of every shape. Round ones, square ones, even a Hello Kitty mirror. Looks like a gift shop exploded in here. Why do you have so many mirrors hung up? Meanwhile, I'm on my knees, scrubbing the floor tiles with a rag, sweating like an overachieving worker bee, polishing the marble until it shines. I wipe my forehead, all innocent and dim-witted. Oh, heard mirrors ward off evil spirits, so I figured, more the better. Rin Yi's eye visibly twitches. Sure, mirrors ward off evil is a thing he's heard of, but the Hello Kitty one? That feels personal. Also, side note, you're being held hostage right now, and you're this dedicated to cleaning the apartment? Do you not respect the gravity of this situation, little man? He stares at me coldly, then finally speaks. Just behave. Once I've rested enough, I'll leave. I won't hurt you. Consider this compensation. He waves his hand, and a solid gold bar materializes out of nowhere, gleaming under the light. I swallow hard, eyes practically sparkling. Okay, this ability is shiny. I mean, cool. I absolutely need to steal this power for myself. But internally, I already know the truth. Guys like Run, he don't leave witnesses. The moment he's healed, I'm the first loose and he ties up. We'll see who actually dies here, I think to myself, scrubbing the floor with noticeably more aggression. Meanwhile, on a rooftop not far from the apartment, a fat silhouette stands with hands behind his back, scanning the area. Damn it, that bastard slipped away. My underworld tracking only covers this range. How am I supposed to find him now? He stares down at the maze of apartment buildings below, looking personally offended by the architecture. On the other side of the mountain, on the other side of the sea, there's a group of little blue people, lively and smart. A cheerful ringtone interrupts his humming. He flips open his old-school flip phone. Your Majesty. I lost him. On the rooftop, the fat guy's boss is on the phone, sounding tired. How many times do I have to tell you? Don't call me Your Majesty. The fat guy chuckles, then turns serious. Old Zhang, my underworld tracking found him in a residential area. Worried he might take a hostage and hurt normal civilians. Apparently, they can't pinpoint his exact location for another 26 hours, and the fat guy's worried Rin, he won't survive that long without being murdered. Then the boss casually drops some bombshell info. There's something happening in a nearby city. Those poison tumors are already there, and also, looks like a second new superpowered teenager just popped up in the same area as the first one. That's me. I am, apparently, statistically improbable. Cool. Back in my cursed mirror apartment, it's now midnight. Rennie notices our place is the only one with lights on. Way too obvious, and tells me to turn them off. Then he makes a phone call. No, the ghost lord showed up. I got injured. I found somewhere to heal. Zhenjiang? That thing's about to emerge. Got it. I'll head out soon. Just from this one phone call, I learned so much. Ghost Lord. Cool dramatic name for whoever beat this guy half to death. And Zhenjiang is literally the neighboring city. What's emerging there? What are they even talking about? But mostly what sinks in is this. He just openly discussed his plans in front of me like I'm furniture. Which confirms exactly what I feared. The moment he's done healing, I'm getting deleted. No loose ends left behind. Time to stop hesitating. The second Rin he hangs up, he catches a flash of red out of the corner of his eye and springs off the couch. Who's there? He scans the room in the dim moonlight and freezes. In the bedroom mirror stands a small, skinless little girl, most of her body raw meat fused with a tiny dress, one eyeball bulging grotesquely, the other socket completely empty except for maggots crawling out of it in a steady stream. Her mouth stretches into a smile that splits all the way up to her temples. Yes, I made Nyonyo. I really committed to the bit. Rin E feels cold dread shoot straight from his feet to his skull, heart practically launching out of his throat. Holy crap, the kid's ghost story was real? But he's not exactly a normal guy either. His pattern flickers, a gun materializes, and he just unloads 3 bullets straight into the mirror without caring who hears. Gunshots. Across town, the fat guy, sitting quietly in the night, suddenly snaps upright, ears twitching, eyes locking onto a direction. Found you, but there's no joy in his voice. Gunshots mean something seriously wrong. Even with most of his power sealed, Rin, he shouldn't need something as loud and obvious as a gun against a regular human. Something's happening. He turns into a streak of black shadow and rockets off toward the sound. Meanwhile, Rinny exhales hard, face turning grim. Gunfire means the fat guy is coming. Can't stay here. He turns to leave, and bam, the bloody little girl reappears in another mirror, this time flanked by a man and woman on either side, equally mangled, all grinning like they're mocking how powerless he is. Damn it, is this place actually haunted? Years of underworld experience, and this is what finally rattles him. But then wait, his brain clicks into gear. These mirrors, bought and hung by that kid. The ghost story, also told by that kid. And now, conveniently, ghosts show up the same night? Way too convenient. That little punk is behind this. The second he figures it out, the illusion stops scaring him. Though now he's furious he wasted bullets and alerted the fat guy for nothing. As he turns to hunt me down, the entire apartment plunges into total darkness. No moonlight through the windows. No light source anywhere. Pure black. His chest tightens. This kind of total darkness feels eerily similar to the Ghost Lord's territory ability. Did that fat bastard get here already? No, wait. He shakes his head. If the Ghost Lord were here, he definitely wouldn't be standing unharmed right now. This is that kid's doing. Correct, by the way. I just used my power to make every window in the apartment block light completely, turning the whole place pitch black. Then, from somewhere in the darkness, music starts blasting. Follow me, left hand, right hand, slow motion right hand, left hand, slow motion replay. Rin-E flinches hard and fires several rounds toward the sound. The song doesn't even pause. Oh, this song brings you happiness. Have you fallen for me yet? It's a speaker, hidden somewhere. The music is not, in fact, a ghost. Sorry, Rin-E. Right as he's trying to figure out where I hid the speaker, something sharp slices straight across his stomach. The instant that sharp thing touched his skin, Rin-E twisted sideways like lightning, barely avoiding getting gutted. He clutches the wound, drops flat to the ground. And good thing too, because two more sharp somethings whistle past, clipping a chunk of his hair off. What I asked that, Blades? His brain races. He's figured out my whole plan now. Distraction with the ghost, then total darkness, then music to mask my movement, and the whoosh of my mirror shards flying. I know exactly where he is. He has no idea where I am. This, my friends, is a pitch-black jungle, and whoever moves first dies first. The music keeps going. Follow me. Nose, eyes, wiggle your ears, keep faking cool, switching styles nonstop. I listen carefully, but hear nothing from him. Either he's dead, or, more likely, knowing this guy, he's figured out my strategy and is staying still on purpose. Standoff. I can wait forever. He can't. The Ghost Lord is closing in, and every second he wastes hiding is a second closer to death by a much scarier opponent. So Rin-E gambles. His pattern flashes, a glowing orb appears in his hand, lighting up every corner of the room. Without hesitation, he dives sideways. 3 gleaming projectiles slice past and bury themselves in the wall behind him. He sees them now, broken mirror shards. Confirmed, my whole power revolves around mirrors. The light catches me hiding in the corner. He's fast, kills the light with his left hand while his right materializes a submachine gun, aimed straight at me. Rat-a-ta-ta. I scramble and roll across the floor, bullets chewing through the darkness, one literally grazing my ear. Bro pulled out a submachine gun. That is cheating. That is straight up cheating. I came to a knife fight, and he brought military hardware. Okay, no. I can't keep dodging forever, or I'm becoming a human beehive. I chuck a shard blindly into the dark. Please, universe, just this once, let me hit something. The gunfire suddenly stops. Rin-E feels searing pain shoot through his thigh, pulls out the shard with gritted teeth, blood gushing down his leg, face turning ghost white. He's officially out of patience. If this drags on any longer, he's dying to me before the fat guy even shows up. A third-tier superpowered veteran, humiliated by a literal teenager. The indignity is almost worse than the pain. His pattern flares brighter than before. I barely catch my breath when his right arm erupts in deep blue electricity, denser and denser, wrapping his whole forearm. His hair stands straight up like he just got struck by lightning personally. Then black threads weave themselves out of the electricity, twisting around his arm, slowly forming an actual black glove that creeps up toward his elbow, until he suddenly coughs blood and the spreading stops. He turns toward me, exhausted, drained of color, but smiling like a man who's enjoying this far too much. Only 10% complete. But that's more than enough for you. I am stunned. This isn't cheating anymore. This is straight-up villain final boss behavior. And, okay, Annoyingly, the demon arm looks unfairly badass. But two can play dramatic reveals. I pull out a pair of sunglasses from nowhere and snap my fingers. Every mirror, window, and floor tile in the apartment erupts in blinding light simultaneously, like 100 flashlights going off at once, turning the entire room into a tiny sun. Aya, Rin Yi's eyes, fully adjusted to darkness moments ago, get absolutely nuked. This was my actual plan all along. The darkness wasn't just for stealth, it was set up for this exact flashbang finisher. I tested this earlier on myself. Never doing that again, by the way. Genuinely traumatizing. You want to fight dirty with superpowers? Fine. Let's start by frying your eyeballs. Rin Yi collapses to the floor, blood tears streaming down his face. He knows immediately he's blind, permanently. And with the Ghost Lord already practically smelling his location, there's basically zero chance of escape now. He's completely out of options. So naturally, he loses it. His demon arm crackles violently, a black ball of electricity condensing in his palm, radiating pure dread. The TV, computer, every electronic device in the apartment fries instantly. Paper starts floating off the desk. Metal surfaces spark with static. If you want to die that badly, he snarls, completely unhinged now. Let's just die together. But oh, you've got to be kidding me. I mutter, feeling that black orb's energy make every hair on my body stand straight up. No time to think. I bolt to the bathroom, rip the big mirror off the wall, and sprint to the balcony as fast as my legs will carry me. Behind me, the orb swells to walnut size. Rin Yi coughs more blood mixed with black smoke, hair turning white, face hollowing out. He's burning through his own life force at this point, completely consumed by whatever underworld energy is eating him alive. He laughs like a madman and clenches his fist. Boom! A blinding white flash lights up the night sky, followed by a thunder-like explosion. Furniture inside gets reduced to splinters. The shockwave visibly rips through the air. Trees below shake violently. The old building's wall cracks open, and flames erupt from the balcony, painting the sky red. Cough, cough, cough. A blackened figure stumbles up off the lawn. Me. Right before the explosion hit, I hardened my mirror to max durability and jumped off the balcony, dodging the direct blast, though my internal organs still feel like they got put in a blender. I stare at the shattered remains of my emergency mirror, genuinely shaken. 1 second slower, and that would have been the end of me for real. Then something catches my eye nearby. My eyes light up instantly. Rin Yi's right arm, just lying there. Turns out Rin Yi was standing dead center in his own explosion. If his demon arm hadn't been covering it, that limb would have been straight up vaporized. His body's gone, his power's gone with him. But the severed arm itself? Still perfectly intact. I jog over and scoop it up. Yes, the actual severed arm, very normal Tuesday activity, and press my hand against the pattern on its wrist. Leaf pattern detected. Fantasist. Begin replication? Yes/no. Zero hesitation. Yes. The moment I touch it, a progress bar starts crawling forward. Bleg. And that's when my body finally rebels. I'm hugging a literal severed arm and throwing up everywhere because, newsflash, I'm just a regular teenager who's never even killed a chicken, let alone bear-hugged a blood-soaked limb that was attached to a living man minutes ago. The smell alone is destroying me. But I don't let go. 2 minutes. I just need 2 minutes. I can survive anything for 2 minutes. Probably. That's when the temperature drops instantly, and a streak of darkness shoots toward me like a falling star. The shadow reshapes itself into a fat man. My whole body goes cold. Underworld energy. Another superpowered person. Probably the same. Ghost Lord, who turned Rin Yi into a human punching bag. But he is not what I imagined. Ugh. Missed him by a bit. The fat guy mutters, surveying the wreckage and the fire raging upstairs. Then he turns around and just stops. Because there's a filthy teenage boy, half kneeling on the ground, hugging his severed arm, throwing up, and occasionally glancing nervously back at him mid-vomit. This man has clearly seen a lot of strange things in his career. This is apparently a new level of strange. Kid, why are you hugging that disgusting arm? I'm scared, I say, wiping my mouth with my sleeve, completely serious. Holding something gives me a sense of security. The fat man's face twitches. Bro, if you're scared, hold a pillow. A severed, bleeding human arm is not exactly the comfort item of choice for most people. You're the new leaf pattern user? Huh? How the hell did someone this week take down the fantasist? Internally, I panic. I never told anyone about this. Not even Rin figured it out. How does this guy know? My biggest secret weapon, exposed in one sentence. So naturally, I respond with maximum innocence. Uncle, what are you talking about? I'm just a regular, law-abiding citizen. The fat man rolls his eyes so hard I worry they'll fall out. Put down the arm first. And the mirror shard in your other hand too. That regular citizen, my entire foot. Who am I kidding here? Oh, I say, dropping both immediately, very smoothly, very dignified. If this guy could wreck Rin that badly, lying to him isn't exactly a winning strategy. And, most importantly, the 2-minute timer just finished. Don't worry, I'm not a bad guy, he says, glancing around at distant figures approaching. We shouldn't stick around here. Let's talk somewhere else. That is exactly what a bad guy says. Every single time. But I follow anyway, because what choice do I have? I sneak a glance at my mental mirror, and my eyes light up. Fantasist, replication complete. Current level, LV1. The progress bar's fully filled, and a swirling pattern now sits in my replication slot. Rin Yi's power, officially mine. Cut to a steamy bathhouse. Water rippling, steam curling toward the ceiling and dripping back down. Warm, humid, peaceful. Glub, glub, glub. Bubbles rise from beneath the surface, and then a giant pale mass erupts from the water. Except it's not mass, it's a person, who flicks his wet hair back dramatically and wipes his face. Nothing beats a good soak. The fat man groans, eyes closed, fully content. I sit nearby, deeply unimpressed. But so your idea of somewhere else to talk was a public bathhouse. Don't even start, he shoots back, glaring at me. Have you seen yourself? Covered in dirt and blood. I couldn't stand being near you. I think for 2 seconds, then point at the water. And yet you're drinking my bathwater right now? He freezes. Goes pale. Scrambles out of the pool so fast, he sends a tidal wave across the entire bathhouse. Blee. This man is supposedly the terrifying ghost lord? My faith in the universe's power hierarchy is shaken. After several minutes of dry heaving by the pool's edge, refusing to ever get back in the water, he lights a cigarette, exhales slowly, and finally says, "All right, kid, ask away. Why do you drink my bathwater? Can we move past that?" I notice his huge body visibly flinch before he glares at me. Honestly, kind of funny. At least this guy clearly doesn't mean me harm, I think to myself. But my brain's flooded with questions, and I don't know where to start. What exactly is a leaf pattern? I finally settle on. He grins, turns around, and points proudly at his own bare butt. Look, what's this? My soul nearly leaves my body. I am 1 second from standing up and walking straight out of this bathhouse forever. Did not expect this man to be this kind of weird. Oh wait, sorry, wrong spot, he says, adjusting, pointing slightly higher, at the base of his tailbone. There, a small black crescent moon-shaped mark sits quietly. Same as the one on your chest. This is a leaf pattern. He turns back around. You'll get a proper class on it once you're at the academy, but I'll give you the short version. Every leaf pattern represents a unique ability. Historically, there are 361 recorded patterns total, ranked by danger. Level: C mild, B moderate, A severe, and S extreme. I nod, processing this, then ask my follow-up. So if each pattern is unique, does it vanish forever once its owner dies? Nope, he shakes his head. Within 1 to 24 hours after the host dies, the pattern detaches on its own, rests for a while, then eventually finds a new host. Could take a year. Could take 1,000 years. No fixed timeline. Wait. Something's off. I pause and reprocess what he just said. Hold up. What do you mean I'll learn it at school? My Gaokao scores aren't even out yet. And since when does a regular university teach this stuff? The fat man just smiles at me, all warm and friendly, which is somehow 10 times more terrifying than if he just looked menacing. Ji Qianming, 18 years old. Found outside an orphanage in 1999, raised there ever since. Average grades. Part-time factory work. No criminal record. Single for 18 years straight. Then he adds, grinning like the worst person alive, still a virgin too. Hey, excuse me? My entire life history, fully exfiltrated, including details I didn't even know were trackable. And somehow they already knew about my leaf pattern, which I got like 2 days ago. He stands up, looks me dead in the eye, and announces formally, Ji Qianming. I'm officially informing you. You've been accepted into Gaochen Academy. Your acceptance letter arrives in a couple days. Oh. Okay. Shockingly, I barely hesitate before agreeing. Because honestly, now that I actually have powers, am I really supposed to go live a boring normal life? Mediocre college, mediocre job, scraping by on minimum wage forever? Every teenager secretly dreams of being someone special, and I'm no different. 18 years of being nobody, and I am done with that chapter. Also, this guy and his organization clearly aren't villains, and they're obviously connected, powerful, probably packed with all kinds of cool superpowered people. Gaochen Academy has a nice ring to it. I let myself smile a little. Out of curiosity, I ask, what would have happened if I said no? Heh. He gives me a mysterious little smirk. Trust me, you don't want to know. My face twitches involuntarily as my brain immediately conjures several extremely violent mental images. Cool. Cool. Glad I said yes voluntarily. Anyway, he says, clearly dying to ask this the entire time. What's your power? What kind of insane ability lets a level 1 newbie take down a tier 3 fantasist? I wave my hand, and the rippling pool surface lights up with images, except instead of, like, a cool battle replay, it's just extremely attractive women in extremely suggestive poses. Cinematic quality. Premium content. The fat man stares, dead silent, practically getting a nosebleed, naming actresses under his breath like a true connoisseur. Qianming, he says, awestruck. This power is amazing. I roll my eyes so hard they almost detach and wave the images away. The fat man immediately deflates, suspicion creeping back in. Wait, that's IT? Don't tell me Run-E got so distracted by that he literally exploded from excitement. Absolutely not. I say though, fine, for like a tenth of a second during battle planning, that thought did cross my mind. I'm only human. My actual ability lets me control the physical rules on mirror surfaces, including controlling how mirror fragments move. I conveniently leave out replicate. That's staying my secret weapon. Thank you very much. The fat man nods slowly, clearly still not buying that this fully explains a level 1 beating a tier 3 vet, but he shrugs it off and gets up. Time to go. We've got somewhere to be. Where? Zhenjiang. Meanwhile, far away, in the city of Changzhou, thunder cracks across dark clouds and rain pours relentlessly over the whole city. 20-some kilometers outside the city center, a luxurious lakeside estate sits quietly in the storm. In the guard booth out front, a middle-aged guard grumbles about the endless rain. His buddy, a buff security guy, lounges with a cigarette, perfectly content. Quit complaining. Easy job, 10 grand a month just to watch a gate. Could be worse. The first guard chuckles, eyes drifting somewhere inappropriate. Yeah, but did you see those girls who walked in earlier? Gorgeous. Puffed. Out of your league. Just watch the gate. Then the buff guard's expression shifts. He squints through the downpour at a figure standing motionless in a black raincoat, staring straight at the guard booth. Hey, what's with that guy? Go check it out. The first guard shrugs it off, probably just a curious passerby. The buff guard scoffs. Out here in the middle of nowhere, nobody sightsees a random estate in a storm like this. He grabs an electric baton, pops open an umbrella, and marches out. The storm soaks him instantly. He shouts at the figure. Hey, what do you want? Up close, he realizes it's just a teenage boy. Except this kid's face is ice cold, eyes completely empty of emotion. I'm going in. Kid, this is private property. Leave, or I'll make you leave. The boy ignores him completely and just keeps walking toward the gate. The guard, suddenly furious that some random teen is disrespecting him in the middle of nowhere where nobody's watching, decides this is the perfect moment to teach a lesson. He flicks on the electric baton and swings hard at the boy's head. The boy's left eye flashes gold. The baton freezes, literally, stopping 1 centimeter from his skull, completely unable to move closer no matter how hard the guard pushes. The guard's whole face turns red from strain, veins bulging, and still, nothing. The baton won't budge an inch. The boy slowly turns his head, and the guard finally sees it clearly. A glowing gold symbol flickering inside the kid's actual eyeball. Ghost. This is a ghost. This has to be a ghost. Cold dread floods straight from the guard's feet to his skull. The boy raises his right hand. The baton suddenly yanks itself free from the guard's grip entirely and hovers, suspended in the rain, sparking with electricity. Then it slams straight into the guard's chest. Electricity surges through his entire body. He convulses, screaming, face going pale, until his eyes roll back and he collapses unconscious. Back in the booth, the other guard watched the whole thing happen. He grabs a second baton and starts running out to help, until the boy glances at him and twitches a finger. Slam. The booth door slams shut on its own, followed by a sharp click as the lock seals tight. Monster! Monster! The guard screams, eyes wide with terror, shaking violently, before he too passes out cold. The boy turns toward the massive iron gate. With a groaning creak, the 3-meter-tall iron bars bend and warp as if squeezed by an invisible giant hand, opening just enough space for one person to slip through. The gold light in his eye fades. His face, hidden beneath the black raincoat, doesn't change at all. Rain drips steadily off him onto the ground. Like a black ghost wandering through the storm, he walks, step by step, toward the estate. The raincoat boys sighed, told straight, since Qianming isn't present for this. No, don't be a buzzkill. The boy stands outside a bedroom door, and the noises coming from inside make his blood boil. Scum. All of them deserve to die. Boom. He kicks the massive door clean off its hinges in a cloud of dust. Inside, an obscenely lavish room, a giant round bed, weird trophies scattered everywhere, walls plastered with photos of various women. The woman on the bed screams and dives under the covers. The young man on the bed, face draining of color, shouts, "Who the hell dares?" He freezes when he sees the boy. Black raincoat, rainwater dripping onto the expensive floor, left eye glowing gold, staring at him like he's already a corpse. Security. Security. Don't bother. They're not coming, the boy says flatly. Do you know who I am? Do you know who my uncle is? The young man bluffs, panic creeping in as security never shows up. A knife flies from the boy's side and stops a hair's width from the man's eyeball. The man nearly faints from terror, and an unfortunate smell starts coming from the bed. The women hiding under the blanket grimace. Do you remember Lu Fong? The boy asks, killing intent radiating off him. I don't know her. What's your name? Xiang Yunch. You're lying. I swear, bro, that's really my name. Check my ID. The boy's mouth twitches slightly before going cold again. Is Xiang Lungfeng your relative? He's my uncle. Oh. The boy says, completely deadpan. Wrong person. My apologies, Xiang Yunch. Bro just terrified him to near death and now casually goes, oops, wrong house. Xiang Yunch looks like he just swallowed a fly. The knife floats back to the boy on its own. Xiang Yunch finally breathes again. But, the boy adds coldly, you still deserve to die? Your whole family deserves it. Are you kidding me right now? Xiang Yunch wants to throw a punch so badly, but obviously doesn't. However, the boy pauses. I promised someone I wouldn't kill innocents anymore. He shakes the rain off his coat and turns to leave, shooting Xiang Yunch one last icy glare that makes him flinch. Finally gone. Xiang Yunch exhales in relief. Oh, one more thing. The boy reappears at the door instantly. Do you know where Xiang Lingfeng went? Heard he's on a business trip in Zhenjiang. Xiang Yunch answers immediately, not daring to lie this time. Got it. And just like that, the black raincoat vanishes back into the storm. Useless intelligence network. A faint curse drifts through the rain. Gauchen's information is always garbage. Back to me, Ji Qianming, on the train. Attention passengers, the train is about to depart. Next stop, Zhenjiang Station. The smooth announcement echoes through the cabin as we pull away. By the window, it's just me and the fat guy, Chui Pang, who's already reclined his seat to maximum flat and is snoring peacefully, looking like a beached whale on vacation. I'm sitting there in a hoodie, holding a magazine upside down, pretending to read like the world's most convincing intellectual, while my actual brain is fully focused on studying the mirror system updates in my head. Replicated skill, fantasist, manifest fantasy objects into the real world. Note 1. Manifestation depends on ability level. Note 2. Manifestation depends on how vivid your memory/impression of the object is. Note 3. If manifestation fails, defaults to whatever you're most strongly impressioned by. Level 1 Dev Note. What are you waiting for? Go daydream already. Strict conditions. Can't summon anything beyond my current level. Can't summon things I don't actually know well. But Rin Yi's light orb and demon arm clearly weren't normal real-world objects. Meaning, once leveled up, this could summon literal fantasy creations? That demon arm was unfairly cool. I want one. There's more updates too. Under Soul Energy Visualization, Rin 5, 7, 6, over 20 entries, totaling almost 200 soul energy points. But the text colors are different, mostly black, some red, and one single deep red entry that gave me a whopping 50 points alone. Thinking back, the black entries matched when I scared Li Tao, fear. So red is probably anger? Makes sense, given how furious Rinny got. And that deep red spike was probably his soul, leaving his body right as he died. Looking at my still only 1/5 full progress bar, I sigh. One entire dangerous superpowered fight, and I'm only at 20%? At this rate, leveling up is going to take forever. I exit the mirror mind space and nudge Chui Pang awake. He groans, wiggles a bit, eventually blinks his eyes open. We there? Yeah. He yawns, glances out the window, then remembers something. Oh right, your acceptance letter's already waiting for you in Zhenjiang. Go pick it up yourself when we get there. I nod, but my gut tells me something big is about to happen in Zhenjiang. Not just for us, but apparently Rin Yi's organization is hunting for something here too. What's emerging here? Is there really something hidden in this city? No point overthinking it. I'm still small fry in this world. Let the big shots handle the big problems. Hey, what does your school actually do? I ask, realizing I genuinely know nothing about the place I'm about to attend. Train students to go be vigilante heroes or something. Not you guys. Us, Chui Pang corrects, rolling his eyes. Gaochen Academy exists for one reason. Protection. Protecting. Peace, sort of, but not in the way you're imagining. We don't exist to wipe out evil, superpowered people. We exist to defend against an invasion from a group of people or things. Something flickers behind his eyes. Pure rage, fists clenching so hard the entire train cabin noticeably drops in temperature. I swallow hard, suddenly very tense. Defend against what, exactly? He catches himself, takes a deep breath, and the cold dissipates. He looks at me with a seriousness I haven't seen from him yet. It's too early for you to know the details. Just understand this. Protection is our entire reason for existing. It's why leaf patterns even exist in the first place. And it's something worth dying for. I nod, only half understanding. What exactly are leaf patterns for? What is Gaochen actually shielding all of humanity from? The train slows to a stop. Passengers grab their bags, lining up to disembark. Chui Pang shuffles into the line with his luggage, and that's when I catch something out of the corner of my eye. Carved into the little fold-out tray table Chui Pang was using, whether on purpose or an accidental slip from his emotional outburst earlier, is a single small character. I squint at it. Everyone knows this character. God. Zhenjiang Station, arriving now. Please hurry if you're getting off. Stay at the hotel once you check in. I've got a mission, Chui Pang says, dragging his luggage. Emergency? Call this number. Can't reach me. Find me in Jinshan. Also, where to pick up your acceptance letter is on this paper. Things are rough in this city right now, so try not to wander around much. He hands me a room key card and a slip of paper. Wait, you're not staying at the hotel? I ask. He shakes his head, sighing. Situation here's serious. I've got too much work. Might not be back for a while. We reach the station exit, and he suddenly stops, checking his watch like he's waiting for something. This girl's never on time, he mutters. After 10 minutes of waiting in the crowded station, a low engine roar grows louder in the distance, and then a red Ferrari comes blazing in like a literal red lightning bolt, dust flying, music blasting at full volume from the open top. It's the new year. New year. Oh, SCRECH. The car carves a dramatically smooth arc and stops dead, inches from my stunned face. A blonde woman steps out, tall, sharp curves wrapped in sleek leather, sunglasses perched on a face that could headline a K-drama. Half the station just stops functioning. Audible gulping sounds everywhere. Sorry, Director Chui. I'm late, she says with a playful grin that makes nearby men go weak in the knees. Whatever. I'm used to it, Chui Pang sighs, waving it off. And who's this? She asks, spotting me gawking like an idiot. This is Ji Qianming. New student, Chui Pang says, patting my shoulder. Qianming, this is your senior, Park Jimin. Korean? I blink, processing. Nice to meet you, senior. I give a stiff, formal bow. New student, Park Jimin pulls off her sunglasses, eyes crinkling as she studies me carefully. After a beat, she breaks into a sweet smile and extends her hand. Welcome to Gauchin, little junior. If anyone bullies you at school, just drop my name. Though honestly, there aren't many of us there anyway. My face goes red. I shake her hand stiffly, soft, warm, distractingly nice, and realize this is literally the first time I've ever touched a girl's hand. In public, with an audience. Cool. Very smooth. Very normal reaction, definitely not internally screaming. All right, Jimin, quit teasing him, we've got business to handle, Chui Pang says, clearly noticing my suffering. She nods, and the two of them climb into the car. Wait, hold on, that's a two-seater. A horrible feeling creeps up my spine. There's no room for me, I say quickly. Chui Pang grins, evil and delighted. Who said you were riding with us? Address is already on the paper. Take the bus. Me. Park Jimin sees my devastated, betrayed expression and bursts out laughing, waving cheerfully as the engine roars back to life and the car vanishes in a cloud of exhaust. I stand there watching the taillights disappear, completely windblown and emotionally abandoned. Oh yeah, serious situation. City's not safe. My entire foot. You just wanted an excuse to ditch me and enjoy yourselves, I mutter bitterly. Fine. Bus it is. I glance at the room key, black gold card, crystal lettering. Fuxalai Hotel, room 2101. Meanwhile, in the Ferrari, that little junior's actually pretty fun. Been a while since we got a new student, Park Jimin says, smirking, the convertible top now closed, music silenced. Kid's got potential, Chui Pang agrees. What's the situation? Her expression turns serious instantly. Not great. Intel says Shangxia is bringing over 200 thugs this round. Some armed, 3 core members, and the puppeteers already on the way. Cowards, hiding in the shadows as usual. Chui Pang growls, face darkening. Our people clashed with them a couple days ago. Yuni got hurt, she adds, anger flashing in her eyes. God is practically already breaking through, and these bastards are still out here causing chaos. Well, since I showed up this dramatically, they definitely know I'm here now. They'll probably pull back a little. Doesn't matter how careful they get. Since I'm here personally, none of them are leaving this place alive. Chui Pang's voice drops cold, confidence radiating off him like heat, eyes flicking toward the window with a flash of pure killing intent. Back to me, staring up at this absolutely massive hotel tower, genuinely impressed. Okay, Gauchin Academy is clearly loaded. Ferraris, luxury hotels. When do I start getting this lifestyle? After an hour of bus-induced motion sickness, seriously, I nearly lost my lunch 3 separate times. Cursing Chui Pang's name with every bump, I finally arrive at the Fuxalai Hotel. I cross the fancy lobby, hit the elevator button for floor 21, and feel my ears practically pop from how fast it shoots upward. 21 SD floor, the smooth automated voice announces as the doors slide open. Only 6 rooms on this floor. I find mine, 2101, at the very end. Just as I'm about to swipe my key card, the door to 2102 right next to me swings open. I turn and freeze completely. A girl steps out. Short, but with long silver hair cascading all the way to her waist, like a literal waterfall made of moonlight. I've seen dyed silver hair before, sure, but this looks completely natural, impossibly smooth, like she was just born this way. She seems to feel my staring and turns slightly toward me. My breathing catches. My heart actually skips. Porcelain white skin, a face carved like ice sculpture, like something heaven personally crafted and dropped onto earth. She's basically a silver-haired elf straight out of a fantasy painting, and she's completely short-circuiting my brain. She glances at me, cold, dismissive, then turns away without a word. Right behind her, another figure steps out, an older woman, regal and icy, the kind of beauty that seems untouched by time, radiating something I can only describe, after way too much internal deliberation, as authority. Like literal royalty looking down on a peasant. She notices me too, eyebrow lifting with curiosity. Oh, under the older woman's stare, my entire body breaks out in goosebumps. I yank my eyes away and fumble the key card into the door slot, practically diving inside. Brief third-person aside. Since this happens after Qianming's door closes, the girl asks her teacher if something's wrong with him. The woman just shakes her head, glances once more at the door, and walks off. I peek through the peephole until they're gone, then finally let myself breathe. Today has been absolutely unhinged, I mumble to myself. Now I finally get a chance to look at this room properly, and my jaw drops. This is a presidential suite. European furniture everywhere, a wine cabinet stocked with bottles that cost more than my entire life savings, a home theater, a tub the size of a swimming pool, even an actual Xbox. Do Gauchan employees just live like royalty on business trips? I stand at the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out over half of Zhenjiang, and suddenly Gauchan Academy seems very appealing. I spend the next while poking everything, touching everything, having the time of my life. Orphan who once shared a cheap 3-star hotel room with Li Tao, energy activated to the max. Eventually, I flop onto the giant round bed and close my eyes, satisfied. Oh wait, I never tested Fantasist yet. I sit up, focus, and try summoning something simple and familiar, my old-school backpack. A weight suddenly drops into my arms. I open my eyes, there it is. My backpack. Worked perfectly, probably because I know this thing inside and out from years of suffering through high school. Now I'm having fun. Pens, pillows, a desk lamp. Each thing I summon, the previous one disappears, exactly like I predicted. One item at a time, max. Then a thought creeps into my head and refuses to leave. Can I summon the demon arm? I know it's a long shot, but I try anyway, closing my eyes, picturing every terrifying detail. When I open them, it's not the demon arm. It's a blue rose. I sit there frozen, staring at it like it's a tiny tombstone. My subconscious's deepest impression is this. A little ache rises in my chest. Everything from a few days ago floods back. Feels like a lifetime ago, even though it literally just happened. But it's only a small ache. I already know, the moment I chose to leave with Cui Pang, that normal life closed behind me. She and I are just from different worlds now. No point being sad about something that was never really mine to begin with. I shake it off, pull out the note from my pocket. Phone number on one side, address on the other. Zongza Road, Chili Alley, 43. I get ready to leave, then pause, double back, and grab 3 small mirrors from my bag, stuffing them in my pocket just in case. Better safe than sorry. The door clicks shut behind me. Silence fills the room. Evening now. Soft yellow light over the streets. Crowds bustling everywhere. Traffic jammed solid with honking horns. I find the alley entrance and check the sign. Chili Alley. This is it. I walk in, counting house numbers. This place is old. Crumbling gray brick walls. Vines crawling everywhere. Mostly shuttered shops with rusted roll-down doors covered in moss. Barely any people around. The whole alley feels abandoned and lonely in the fading light. Finally, I stop outside a shop. Rusted metal numbers. Barely readable. 43. The door's shut. A cloth covers the glass, but pink light glows faintly through it. On either side of the door, big red characters spell out, adult wellness and intimate products. 1,000 screaming emotions flood through me. My face goes flat with rage. I am going to fight that fat man. Why is my acceptance letter inside an adult shop? Why? I seriously consider just turning around and walking away forever, but after an intense internal battle, I force myself inside. Dingling. The bell chimes. A weird smell hits me immediately, and then I finally see the place fully. Pink lighting, a small counter in the middle, rusty metal shelves on both sides absolutely packed with items I will not be describing. This is, genuinely, just a normal adult store. Great. Cool. Love this for me. I'm about to turn and flee when an old man pops out from a back door, fanning himself, wearing a white tank top. Hey kid, looking for something? We got everything here. Guaranteed satisfaction. His voice booms with way too much enthusiasm and a not-so-subtle wink in his tone. My face turns bright red. No, I'm not. I'm here for my acceptance letter. I want to slap myself. Who's going to believe that excuse in this shop? Oh, the old man raises an eyebrow, studying me carefully, then pulls 2 packages out from under the counter. Name, Ji Qianming. I answer honestly. Here, this one's yours. He puts on his reading glasses, double-checks, and hands one over. Me. This is real. They actually put acceptance letters in an adult store. What kind of academy, I ask this? Complaints aside, I take the package. Good kid. Work hard. The old man pats my shoulder. Come back anytime you need something. I'll give you a discount. He winks at me, grinning in the most suggestive way humanly possible, clearly implying things I refuse to acknowledge. Thank you, sir. I managed to choke out, dying inside. This is so embarrassing. I want to evaporate on the spot. Just as I turn to leave, the bell chimes again. Dingling. We both turn. A handsome, sharp-featured boy walks in, scans the shop with zero change in his cold expression whatsoever. Whoa, respect. This guy can walk into this shop and not even flinch. Absolute legend. I'm here for my acceptance letter, the boy says flatly. The old man raises an eyebrow. Name? Zhang Fan. The old man hands the second package over, eyes locked on Zhang Fan's left eye the entire time. Such rare talent. Incredible talent, he murmurs. Watching this, my brain immediately goes. Is he a new Gaochen student too? Zhang Fan takes his package, double-checks it, and walks straight out without another word. Phew, ice cold. This guy radiates, stay 500 feet away from me, energy. But I'm nosy, so I follow him out anyway. Hey, are you a new Gaochen student too? I jog up beside him. He glances at me, nods once. Then we're classmates. I stick my hand out enthusiastically. I'm Ji Qianming. He hesitates, clearly questioning his life choices, but eventually shakes my hand. Zhang Fan. Then he just keeps walking. Doesn't look back. Zhang Fan. Solid name. Sounds tough, I think to myself. So you've got a leaf pattern too, right? Yeah. How much do you know about Gaochen? Not much. Where are you staying? I keep peppering him with questions, full curious puppy energy, completely ignoring every social cue telling me to stop. Eventually he halts, turns, and looks me dead in the eyes. You should stop following me. Where I'm going is dangerous. Fair enough. I sigh and stop walking. Guess I'm not getting any more intel out of this guy. But seriously, where is he headed? I watch him disappear into the distance, lost in thought. Meanwhile, downtown, a skyscraper covered entirely in reflective glass towers over the financial district, glowing under the sun like a giant mirror. On the roof, Qingyuan Group. Inside a conference room, a man in a dark blue demon mask walks in. Fangs painted across the mask, genuinely unsettling. You're late, Qingliao, says another masked man already seated, his mask painted with a six-pointed star. TCH. It's a three-person strategy meeting. Who cares about late, Qingliao snaps. A third figure, a woman in a rose-patterned mask, slinks over, running a finger along Qingliao's chest, all sultry movement. Don't be mean to the new kid, sorcerer. Look at those muscles. I might lose control. Qingliao grabs her wrist hard. Touch me again with those filthy hands, flower ghost, and I'll cut them off. Oh? Try it. Her voice goes ice cold, killing intent flooding the room instantly. Enough, the sorcerer says, standing. Shanxie didn't send you here to fight each other. Let's start the briefing. The envoy's arriving soon. Both quiet down, taking their seats. The sorcerer unrolls a map, circling a location in red. According to headquarters calculations, that thing's emergence point is here. Jinshan, Flower Ghost tilts her head. Isn't there a temple there? Jinshan Temple? Correct. Built by some ancient powerhouse to gather the dragon vein energy of the entire Jiangnan region, specifically to suppress that thing. Gaochen's already setting up barriers near Jinshan. We need a two-pronged approach. First, we need a distraction downtown. Qingliao. That's you. Qingliao scoffs. Why not just send the mindless thugs to do that? I'm not wasting time on something this boring. Flower Ghost smirks lazily. Because you're the weakest one here, sweetie. A measly tier, 2 going to Jinshan would just be a free meal for them. You. Qingliao's rage spikes instantly. Woman, you trying to die? Bang. The sorcerer slams the table, silencing both of them. Next person who starts something gets thrown out. Understood. He clears his throat. Continuing. I'll handle Jinshan myself. Flower Ghost, take some thugs and hold this location. Qingyuan Heavy Industries holds something critical to our plan. Guard it properly. Fine. Got it. She huffs. Qingliao frowns, thinking. Heard the Ghost Lord showed up this time. Can the three of us even handle him? Before the sorcerer can answer, a deep voice echoes from the doorway. The Ghost Lord. Leave him to me. All three turn. A man in a white crying face mask stands there, radiating pressure so heavy it's hard to breathe. One name flashes through all three of their minds simultaneously. The puppeteer. Back to me, wandering the night streets, munching on a hand-grabbed pancake. Not because I actually love this snack. It's because Chui Peng took off without leaving me a single yuan beyond a room key and a note. I dug through my entire backpack and found exactly 7 kwai, barely enough for 1 pancake. This fat man drags me out here and then abandons all responsibility for my well-being? I genuinely feel like I got smooth-talked into eloping with someone who immediately regretted it. While I'm spiraling internally, a pack of motorcycles roars past like lightning, splashing a puddle directly onto my pancake. I blink. It takes a solid half-second to process what just happened. Excuse me? That was my last 7 yuan. That was my entire dinner. You just ruined my last meal before potential starvation? If that fat man doesn't come back soon, I'm going to literally die of hunger out here. Where's the basic human decency? Hey, you got guts. Come back here. I scream after them, flipping a furious middle finger at the rapidly disappearing motorcycles. The bikes. Stop. They confer for a second, then turn around, heading straight back toward me. Wait, they heard that? From that far away? As they close in, I immediately turn and run. It takes them all of 3 seconds to catch up, drifting smoothly to block my path. A guy with a long face hops off his bike, glaring at me. Was that you who just yelled at us, kid? Sorry, gentlemen. What are you referring to? I blink innocently, the picture of confused virtue. Boss, it's definitely him. I clearly heard someone say we had no guts, says a guy with bleached yellow hair, voice nasally like a duck. Another guy, built, covered in tattoos, hesitates. Maybe we should just drop it, boss. Remember that kid from this afternoon? Took down 80 plus of our guys solo. That was insane. Honestly, seeing a kid this age now just gives me chills. Out of nowhere, Zhang Fan's cold, expressionless face pops into my mind, and possessed by some kind of demon, I blurt out. Bold guess here, gentlemen. Was the guy super handsome, ice-cold personality, talks like he's daring you to punch him? All 3 of them whip around, jaws dropping. The tattooed guy starts visibly shaking. See? I told you this kid wasn't normal. What's your relationship to that guy? The long-faced one asks, suddenly very cautious. Oh, he's my boss, I announce, puffing my chest out, full confidence, zero shame. All 3 gasp and exchange terrified glances. Yellow hair whips out a walkie-talkie faster than I've ever seen a human move, screaming into it with his duck voice. We found his accomplice. Repeat, we found his accomplice. We're across from China Mobile on Guanxian Street. Everyone get over here. Copy. We're already chasing the kid near Bauta Mountain Park, sending backup your way. Repeat, backup incoming. Me? My face is doing something I cannot control. I did not expect that lie to escalate into an actual gang war summons. The 3 of them surround me cautiously, pulling out a steel pipe, brass knuckles, and, somehow, a golf club. Okay, this got way bigger than expected. I'm not Zhang Fan. I can't single-handedly demolish a small army. But, screw it, we're already here. I send a mirror flying at them, hovering midair, slowly rotating, and BM, blinding gold light erupts from it. HHH my eyes. My God. What is that? Wah, MOM. While they're blinded and bent over screaming, I manifest a wooden club out of thin air and start whacking them. Full chaos mode. After a satisfying few seconds, all 3 are on the ground, clutching their heads, rolling around. Tattoo guy's tears and snot are literally smeared across my club. I stare at the weapon, horrified, immediately dissolving it. Then I hear it. The rumble of dozens more motorcycle engines, closing in fast. A literal swarm of bikers, weapons raised, faces full of murder. My hair stands straight up. I jump on the nearest abandoned motorcycle and gun it toward Bauta Mountain. Zhang Fan, my brave imaginary boss, save me. In my head, this man I've talked to for 2 minutes has become a mythic hero. I gun the throttle harder, my speed now rivaling an actual car, but the swarm behind me keeps growing, more and more bikes joining the chase. Good thing we're out near the suburbs. Otherwise traffic cops would already be on me too. Damn it, when did Zhenjiang become biker gang capital of China? Then up ahead, more bikers cut in from a side road, attempting to box me in. My chest pattern flickers, and a mirror shoots out of my pocket, flashing blinding gold light directly at them. HHH, I can't see. What the hell is this brightness? Brakes screech, bikes crash, riders go flying. Excellent. Feeling pretty good now. I summon my other 2 mirrors too, 3 mirrors orbiting me like a tiny solar system, blasting golden light in every direction. Sunglasses. Where are my sunglasses? I see the sun. My eyes. My EYSSS. I'm basically a comet streaking through the night. Biker mobs keeping a very respectful, very terrified distance behind me. Right as I start to relax, a horrifying realization hits. Wait, we're even about a mountain. Meanwhile, at Qingyuan Heavy Industries, the sorcerer's phone buzzes. He picks up. What is it? Got a kid. Got it. He hangs up, resting his head in his hand, deep in thought. What's wrong? Flower Ghost asks. Trouble with the thugs, the sorcerer says, voice rough with confusion. Apparently some kid stormed their hideout, beat half of them up, and now there's a fight breaking out near about a mountain. Flower Ghost bursts out laughing, practically shaking. Bunch of losers, Qingliao scoffs. 200 guys can't catch one kid? Don't they have guns? The sorcerer gives him a look like he's an idiot. Use guns? The second gunfire breaks out. This stops being gang scuffle and becomes terrorist attack. Before our plan even starts, we cannot afford complications. Qingliao, go to Bauta Mountain, retrieve the kid. Quietly. No noise. Qingliao's face darkens, fury simmering behind his eyes. Sending me after one kid? Disrespecting me like this? Once I hit tier 3, I'm killing every single one of you. He clenches his fist, scoffs, and storms out. What does the kid look like? Asks a low voice from the corner. The puppeteer, leaning by the window, moonlight illuminating his white crying face mask. The sorcerer thinks for a moment. Apparently his left eye glows gold. Probably a leaf pattern user, though we don't know which ability. Why didn't you mention that to Qingliao? Flower Ghost asks, amused. New recruits with too much edge are bad news, the sorcerer says flatly, mask glinting cold under the light. Left eye glowing gold. Something clicks behind the puppeteer's mask. He turns toward the window, lips curling slightly beneath the white porcelain. Could it be him? Back to me. I am so done. My motorcycle's running on fumes, and the swarm behind me hasn't thinned at all. Keep this up, and I'm getting jumped by an army. Thankfully, I remember staring out the hotel window earlier and spotting a mountain with a pagoda silhouette. Turns out my one actual skill in life is directional instinct, because there it is, mountain, pagoda outline, and everything. I ditch the bike at the base and sprint up the steps. Behind me, 80-plus bikes screech to a stop, and an army of intimidating men pour out, weapons of every kind in hand. He went up there. One guy yells, hoe raised like a weapon. Running up the mountain? Idiot doesn't know when to quit, sneers a wiry guy spinning a butterfly knife. Everyone charge. Nobody goes home until that little bastard's caught. The mob roars and surges up the steps after me. This is officially a stamina war, and my stamina has never been impressive. The gap between us is closing fast, fueled by their pure rage adrenaline. Just as I'm about to give up hope, the stone steps finally end. And there, at the park entrance, stands another wall of bikers, double the size of the mob chasing me. In front of them, standing among a pile of groaning, twitching biker bodies clutching their heads and stomachs, is one handsome teenage boy, Zhang Fan. Under the moonlight, his left eye glowing like a star, looking down on everyone below like they're beneath his notice. Everyone on the mountain hears the noise and snaps their heads toward me in perfect unison. 100-plus pairs of murderous eyes lock onto me. Cold sweat pours down my back. I swallow hard and bolt straight toward Zhang Fan. Classmate, wait, no, boss. What kind of monsters did you piss off? Seeing Zhang Fan standing there like a literal descending deity, he might as well be a glowing life raft in an ocean of enemies. Right now, this guy I've spoken to for 2 whole minutes is the only person on Earth I trust. Zhang Fan blinks, equally baffled by the reunion. He watches me sprint over with wide, desperate puppy eyes and clearly has no idea when he became boss. He's about to ask what's going on when another wave of bikers comes charging up the stone steps behind me, weapons raised, murder in their eyes. TCH. So you two are together, the wiry knife guy sneers, completely ignoring me. You're the boss, huh? Let's see what you've got. Zhang Fan's eyes narrow, the gold light in his left eye flaring brighter. Since they're all here anyway, none of them are leaving. He radiates pure, terrifying confidence, facing down 200-plus armed bikers like it's a minor inconvenience. A few of them visibly flinch, gulping at the demon-level intensity coming off this teenager. 200 of us scared of two punks? Charge! The knife guy screams, and the mob surges forward. I have never in my life witnessed anything like this. Pale-faced, I whisper. There's too many of them. Let's run. Zhang Fan just shakes his head. Can't outrun them. They've got bikes waiting at the bottom. We finish them here, on the mountain. And then he just walks straight into the mob like some kind of horror movie villain. He flicks his left hand. The butterfly knife in the lead guy's grip suddenly yanks itself free and flies straight to Zhang Fan, spinning violently in the air around him like a loyal blade pet, making everyone in front stumble back in confusion. What is this? Power. Zhang Fan walks calmly into the chaos, the spinning knife slicing up and down, blood spraying with every pass. My finger. My face. I'm disfigured. Dude, don't let it fly down here. Screams echo across the empty park. A massive guy swings a thick iron rod straight at Zhang Fan's skull. Zhang Fan barely tilts his head, his golden symbol flickering, and the rod just veers off course on its own, slamming uselessly into the ground. The recoil numbs the guy's hands, and before he can recover, an invisible force slams into his nose like a sledgehammer. Crack. Nose shattered. Blood everywhere. He collapses, screaming. One guy down. 1,000 more apparently feel inspired to charge harder. Zhang Fan scoffs, his left eye blazing, and with one sweep of his right hand, a dozen weapons rip out of multiple thugs' hands and float into the air around him. Bats, beer bottles, machetes, bayonets, an entire floating arsenal, perfectly aimed at the charging mob. The mob freezes mid-charge, completely baffled. Run. Everyone run. Someone screams, voice cracking. They finally snap out of it and scatter in every direction. Go, Zhang Fan says coldly, flicking his hand forward. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The floating weapons launch like lightning bolts into the fleeing crowd. Screams erupt everywhere, blood pooling into a small crimson stream that trickles down the stone steps. Zhang Fan stands calmly in the middle of it all, watching the survivors flee with zero emotion in his glowing golden eye. He raises his arm again, looking like a literal demon raising an executioner's blade, and what's left of the mob completely loses it, dropping their weapons and sprinting down the mountain for their lives. I'm standing there with my jaw on the floor. I knew this guy was strong. I did not know he was this unfairly strong. Watching him stand there in the moonlight, drenched in carnage, utterly unbothered, my brain just goes, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. This is what a real boss looks like. My own mirror flower power suddenly feels embarrassingly weak by comparison. But, I remind myself, my system is a slow burn investment. Early game weak, late game terrifying. I just need time. Also, hypothetically, if I ever got close enough to copy his power too. As the last of the bikers vanish down the mountain, Zhang Fan's golden eye fades, and he walks toward me. That was incredible, I murmur, staring at the carnage. Is this the average power level of incoming Gaochen students? My measly mirror control feels like a joke in comparison. Still, I remind myself, early weak, late strong. If Zhang Fan's powers are this insane, maybe next time I should just copy his too. That's when Zhang Fan suddenly stumbles, nearly collapsing. Under the moonlight, I finally notice. He's pale as paper, completely drained. Boss? You okay? I rush to catch him. I'm fine. Just overused my mental energy a bit, he mutters, sweat beading on his forehead. We need to move. They'll regroup soon. Turns out, despite the insane display, he's still only tier 1. Controlling that many weapons simultaneously nearly maxed him out. That last big weapon throw was mostly just a bluff to scare off the stragglers before he completely runs dry. And worse, they only took down maybe 70 or 80 bikers. Over 100 more are still out there, currently fleeing in terror, but bound to regroup once the shock wears off. I nod fast, supporting his weakened body as we head down an alternate path off the mountain. TCH, useless trash, can't even handle 2 kids, a voice sneers from the darkness. My stomach drops. We both turn. Stepping out of the shadows, a man in a dark blue demon mask, fangs gleaming under the moonlight, absolutely dripping with menace. Meanwhile, in a random back alley noodle shop deep in Zhenjiang, late at night, slurp. A middle-aged man hunches over a steaming bowl, inhaling noodles like his life depends on it. Amazing. He sets down his now spotless bowl, completely satisfied. Junjiang small, but this guogai noodle is genuinely incredible. He's wearing a rumpled beige trench coat, messy hair, stubble. Total, unkempt middle-aged uncle energy. Across from him sits a young man in glasses and a neat suit, looking visibly exhausted by life choices. He adjusts his glasses. Your Majesty, are we really just sneaking off like this? Background, third person, since I'm not there for this, the middle-aged uncle, clearly someone important, nicknamed Your Majesty, chuckles. With that fat bastard handling things, why would I need to worry? His glasses-wearing assistant nods, then pulls out 2 files. Your Majesty, here's the info on the 2 new recruits. The uncle waves it off lazily. Just hit me with the highlights. I hate reading paperwork. So the assistant summarizes. Zhang Fan, 20 years old, lost his father at age 3, raised by his mother Lu Fong. Once hailed as a once-in-a-century genius, even got an early acceptance to MIT at 16, until he was diagnosed with a rare, brutal illness that drained his family's entire savings for treatment. Unable to bear the pain anymore, and refusing to keep burdening his family, he jumped to his death at 19. The assistant pauses, stunned. Wait, jump to his death? Is a literal ghost applying to the academy? He keeps reading. Weeks later, the gravekeeper found Zhang Fan's coffin pried open from the inside, empty, the lid flung 20 meters away. Zhang Fan, somehow alive again, returned home to find his mother missing. Last seen visiting an old high school friend, Xiang Lingfeng, to borrow money. After that, the file is entirely redacted, thick black lines covering everything else. Classified at the highest level. Xiang Lingfeng. Why does that name sound familiar? The assistant suddenly remembers. Xiang Lingfeng is the puppeteer, one of Shangxia's special envoys. He hesitates, about to mention this, but the uncle cuts him off, expression unreadable. Skip Zhang Fan's file. Read the other kids. The assistant senses he shouldn't push further and obeys. Ji Qianming, 19 years old. Found outside an orphanage in 1999. Ordinary high school graduate, average grades, clean record, silence. That's it, the uncle asks, baffled. That's it, the assistant confirms, flipping through the entire file again, just to be sure. Nothing else. They went to see old Qin already? They did. What did old Qin say? About Zhang Fan? Rare talent, rare talent. The assistant says, doing his best impression. And Ji Qianming, the assistant's mouth twitches. Duh. Good kid. Keep working hard. All right. Got it. Back to me, on the mountain, facing the masked horror show. The second I lay eyes on this demon-masked freak, pure cold dread shoots straight up from my feet. Run, Zhang Fan shouts, going even paler than before. Of course we'd run into a core member of Shangxia at the worst possible moment. I don't even hesitate. We both bolt. Wind rips past my ear, kicking up dust, and suddenly the fanged demon mask is right in front of my face. Running? You think you can run? The man taunts from beneath the mask, and a green-skinned arm shoots out of his cloak straight at me. My pupils shrink. I throw myself backward as my fantasist pattern flares. An iron rod materializes in my hand, just in time to deflect the strike. The green arm grazes past my stomach instead of skewering it, but the impact sends me sprawling backward into the dirt, dust flying. Cough, cough. I scramble back up immediately, eyes locked on this man. In the moonlight, I finally see the arm clearly, solid green, lean but packed with muscle, hooked claws curling out at the elbow and wrist. Genuinely terrifying. That's Qingliao, core member of Shangxia, Zhang Fan says weakly from the ground, propping himself up with one arm, glaring at the blue mask. Shangxia? I ask, hearing the name for the first time. A gathering of jackals, Zhang Fan says coldly, killing intent radiating off him. Every core member's a superpowered killer. Minimum tier, too. Every single one of them has at least a dozen bodies on their hands. Worthless trash that deserves to die. This Qingliao's new to the organization, though. Only tier 2. We might still have a shot. Tier 2. My stomach drops. Sure, technically I once killed a tier 3 superpowered guy, but let's be honest, that was 99% pure luck, and even then I didn't actually beat him. He basically self-destructed because Cui Pang showed up. If not for that, I'd be the one dead. And this guy? Fully active, fully trained, genuinely murderous tier 2. Just the two of us, both tier 1. Are we actually surviving this? No shot, huh? With just you two? Qingliao laughs coldly. That hit just now was less than 10% of my actual strength. Where's the confidence coming from? As he speaks, his entire body starts twisting, skin rippling green, muscles bulging beneath his clothes, his already tall frame stretching half a meter taller. Crack. His mask splits down the middle and shatters on the ground. Moonlight hits his face directly, a grotesque green demon visage, two long fangs jutting from his mouth. Pure hell demon nightmare fuel. I genuinely gasp out loud. I did not sign up to watch a man transform into an actual demon in real time. Even Zhang Fan's brow furrows, not from fear, but recalculation. His odds of winning this just dropped significantly. This guy's stronger than expected. Still think you have a shot? Qingliao grins, bloody mouth stretching ear to ear, sending a chill straight down my spine. He stomps the ground and launches forward like a literal blade, unstoppable momentum. Zhang Fan scoffs, flicking his fingers. A sharp steel pipe rips up from the ground and rockets toward Qingliao's face. Qingliao doesn't even slow down, contempt flashing in his eyes. The pipe connects with his forehead, and instead of piercing through, it sounds like it hits solid rock. Clang. The pipe bounces off uselessly, flying away. And in that split second, Qingliao is already standing directly in front of Zhang Fan. Qingliao grins viciously, twists his hip, and unleashes a brutal green-blurred kick straight at Zhang Fan. So, fast. Zhang Fan's eyes go wide. Post-transformation, this thing is operating on a different physical tier entirely. Speed, power, durability. None of it comparable to a regular person, and no amount of fancy ability can compensate for sheer outclassed biology. In a panic, he crosses his arms over his chest, left eye flaring gold, mental energy slamming up like a shield. Boom. A sickening crack rings out as Zhang Fan goes flying like a human cannonball, slamming straight into a thick tree trunk hard enough to snap it clean in half. Cough, cough, cough. Zhang Fan drags himself up, blood spilling from his mouth, face completely drained of color. This monster's strength is insane. If he hadn't burned every ounce of energy on that shield, that hit would have shattered bones. Boss, I scream, sprinting toward him desperately. Eager to die, kid? Qingliao snarls, eyes locking onto me with pure bloodlust. Somehow, I'm completely calm. My brain is moving faster than it ever has. I slap my pocket. A mirror shoots out, instantly shattering into 7 sharp shards midair, each one glinting with deadly precision. My chest pattern flares silver, and all 7 shards rocket toward Qingliao. I'm not the rookie who couldn't even levitate a mirror without dropping it. After my fight with Ran E and a brutal amount of practice, my control's gotten way better. Qingliao just stands there, watching the shards approach, not even bothering to dodge. A few broken mirror bits, threatening me, he scoffs. Buddy, you're severely underestimating sharpness-enhanced glass. The shards whistle through the air and easily pierce his green skin 2 centimeters deep. His face twitches, but before he can even rip them out, the last 2 shards rocket straight toward his eyes. Vicious little brat. Qingliao curses internally. His skin's tough, but he never figured out how to harden his eyeballs. That's still his weak point. He doesn't risk it. His nails extend into 5 blade-like claws and slash the air, shredding both shards into pieces mid-flight. You actually wounded me, he growls, yanking the embedded shards from his own muscle, eyes flashing red with genuine fury now. I use the distraction to sprint to Zhang Fan's side. Boss, you okay? I'm fine, he says weakly, blood dripping off his chin, eyes still locked on the seething demon. Grrrrhhhh. Qingliao roars at the sky, eyes turning fully crimson, body bulking up even more. His shirt literally explodes off him, revealing solid green muscle like living stone. Then his forehead splits open and 2 crimson horns push through, glowing faintly red. Oh no. He has a second transformation. We both go pale. Congratulations. You've fully pissed me off, Qingliao hisses, frost practically dripping from his words. I'm going to dice you up in front of each other and eat your skulls 1 bite at a time. Insane speed. Crushing power. Defense that barely registers our attacks. How do we possibly beat this? I've got 2 mirrors left, and even my sharpest attack barely scratched him. Zhang Fan's badly hurt. We need something else. I stare Qing Liao down, locked in pure ice-cold calculation mode, brain sprinting through every option. Zhang Fan glances at me and notices I'm different right now. Not the goofy, chatty idiot from earlier today. My eyes have gone hard, predatory, like a wolf, patient, vicious, waiting for one opening to tear its prey apart. Boss, can you still control those machetes and bottles scattered around? I can. Good. Here's the plan. I lean in and whisper rapid-fire instructions. Zhang Fan frowns. That's incredibly risky. Without risk, we have zero chance. I say flatly, I still fixed on Qing Liao. For some reason, watching my expression shift, Qing Liao's chest tightens with an unfamiliar flicker of unease. Wait, this kid is making me nervous? His beast instincts, sharpened by the transformation, have saved his life more than once before. He hesitates. Should he trust the warning and just walk away? That's when I sprint straight at him, flipping him a middle finger mid-run, with a chaotic swarm of machetes, broken bottles, and a butterfly knife trailing behind me. A flare of unreasoning rage swallows his hesitation whole. These two brats are a threat to me? He roars and launches forward, faster than before, a literal blur slicing through the air toward me. Faster than last time. Noted internally. My chest pattern flares under my hoodie. Every weapon around us glows faint blue, sharpness enhanced to maximum. I gave control of the machete, bottle shards, and knife to Zhang Fan specifically because they have decent reflective surfaces, and we already proved sharpened weapons can actually hurt him. I could control them myself too, but they're less responsive for me. Plus I need full focus on what's coming next. Zhang Fan sits pale on the ground, gold light pouring from his eye, carefully steering the three floating weapons. This is it. Everything rides on this one move. I flick my fingers. The three weapons accelerate into a tight line, flying past me straight at the charging demon. Qing Liao, not underestimating this time, slashes his claws at the lead bottle shard. SHHK? The claws cut clean through it in one pass. He swings again, shredding the butterfly knife just as easily. But right as his claws reach the machete, it vanishes into thin air. His eyes widen. His arm slices through empty space, momentum still carrying him forward. Without thinking, I twist sideways and swing my own empty fist with everything I've got straight at his exposed neck, and my fantasist pattern erupts with light. In that split second of confusion, the machete reappears in my hand, deep blue light blazing as it gets sharpness enhanced to absolute maximum. At the exact same instant, Zhang Fan yanks his hand back, golden runes flaring in his eye, and an identical machete bursts out of the darkness behind Qing Liao, glowing the same blue. The whole thing takes less than half a second. Both blades strike his neck simultaneously from opposite sides. SHHK. A soft sound. Then his grotesque head goes flying upward, bouncing and rolling across the ground, eyes still wide open in eternal confusion. He probably died never understanding how that just happened. The trick was simple, honestly. While we whispered our plan, I quietly manifested a duplicate machete that only I controlled. As long as I timed the disappear and reappear perfectly, I could blindside him completely. Meanwhile, Zhang Fan snuck the real machete around behind him for the kill. One wrong beat, and we'd both have been shredded. The second Qing Liao's actually dead, every ounce of tension drains out of me, and I just collapse onto the ground. I'm sorry, fat man. I'm so sorry. I mumble, thinking of every warning Cui Pang gave me. I should have just stayed at the hotel like you said. What a disaster. All of this, almost dying multiple times, over a 7 yuan pancake. Who does that? Why am I like this? Zhang Fan's mouth curves slightly, about to say something, then coughs up more blood instead. Boss? You okay? Should I call an ambulance? I scramble up and rush over. I'm fine, he waves it off. Just need somewhere quiet to recover. I nod, hauling him up, grinning despite everything. Then let's go to my place. Not to brag, but my presidential suite is honestly. And so, after a brutal night of battle, two beat-up teenagers limp down the mountain together, leaning on each other for support. The sun starts rising in the east. Background. Third person, a figure appears on the steps near Qing Liao's headless corpse, studying the wreckage, chin resting on one hand. The white crying face mask gleams under the rising sun. The puppeteer, watching, thinking. Meanwhile, at Jinshan Temple, white-coated technicians swarm the grounds, scanning instruments, planting little flags everywhere. On the temple roof, Chui Pang lounges with a tea mug, yawning, watching the operation below. Park Jimin sprints up, heels clicking urgently, handing him a tablet. Teacher, we have a problem. The technical team says that Thing's emergence got moved up 48 hours. Chui Pang nearly drops his tea. What? 48 hours? How long do we actually have? 14 hours, 26 minutes, she states precisely. He pales. That's not possible. This isn't supposed to happen this fast. The 3 treasures maze formations done. The 4 symbols formations only half built. We haven't even started the trapping or killing formations. At this rate, everyone, stop what they're doing right now, Chui Pang orders sharply. Skip the 4 symbols entirely. Full focus on the 7-star formation. It must be ready before that thing emerges. Yes, teacher. She rushes off without question. This time, Chui Pang mutters, staring into the distance. We're in serious trouble. Back to me. Beep, beep, beep. My alarm goes off. A hand emerges from under the blanket, fumbles around blindly, finally smacks the right button. A few seconds later, I sit up, hair looking like an actual bird's nest, completely disoriented. I wipe drool off my chin with my sleeve and stumble to the bathroom. When I walk into the living room, boss, why are you sitting on the floor? Zhang Fan's cross-legged, eyes closed, breathing in some weird rhythmic pattern. A few seconds later, he opens his eyes. Meditating? Meditating? What's that for? Suddenly remembering Ren Yi did the exact same thing back when he was hiding in my apartment. It restores mental energy quickly. Long-term, it also strengthens your ability to control your leaf pattern. Oh, so it's basically a power-leveling cheat code. My eyes light up. Can you teach me? I'm basically vibrating with excitement. Sure, he nods. Sit cross-legged, clear your mind, picture a clear crystal in your head, and breathe with your stomach instead of your lungs. Inhale for 7 seconds, exhale for 8. I follow his instructions exactly. Sit. Clear my mind. Clear it. A few seconds later, I'm visibly swaying, head drooping forward, and a soft snore escapes me. Zhang Fan's eye twitches. He coughs loudly to jolt me awake. I snap up, dead serious. I successfully dreamed about the crystal, Zhang Fan. That is not what meditation means, you absolute disaster. He genuinely cannot reconcile this idiot in front of him with the same person who out-strategized a tier 2 superpowered killer last night. I've been wondering something, he says after a pause. Why do you call me boss? I cough awkwardly. That's a bit of a long story. But think about it. Calling you Zhang Fan or classmate feels distant, right? And little fan or fan feels weird too. Where I'm from, boss isn't just about hierarchy. Friends use it too. It means we're close. At the word, friends, something tightens in Zhang Fan's chest. He glances at me, then looks away. I'm not really interested in interpersonal relationships. Call me whatever you want. Internally, I exhale with relief. I am not explaining that the real reason I called him boss is because I dragged him into a gang war using his name as a bluff. Oh right, I say, switching topics fast. How'd you end up tangling with that whole biker gang last night anyway? They weren't regular bikers. Shangxia's outer thugs. He pauses, looking briefly, uncharacteristically embarrassed. I was actually trying to track down an enemy. Took a wrong turn, accidentally walked into their entire hideout, and just beat them up while I was there. My jaw drops. You got lost and accidentally found their headquarters and casually demolished 200 people on the way. That is unfairly badass. So I heard leaf patterns get ranked by danger level. Boss, you're insanely strong. You must be ranked pretty high, right? I ask, practically glowing with admiration after watching him solo a small army last night. Honestly, I'm not sure, he admits. Part of my ability seems sealed. I don't even have full info on my own pattern. All I know is I can control objects with mental force, possibly something called B98, mind control of objects. B rank? Mid-tier danger? Wait, that's only mid-tier. I'm baffled. If something this powerful is just B rank, what does S rank even look like? What's all this tier 1, tier 2 stuff people keep mentioning? I ask, full curious puppy mode again. Honestly, not my fault. Chui Pang gave me practically zero information before abandoning me at a hotel. I didn't even know meditation was a basic foundational skill until 5 minutes ago. Just thinking about that fat man cruising off with a hot blonde in a sports car makes my blood boil all over again. Wonder how he's doing right now. It refers to your mastery level over your leaf pattern, Zhang Fan explains. The higher your mastery, the more power you can access. Right now, you and I are both at about 1% mastery. Tier 2 is 5%. Tier 3 is 15%. Tier 4 is 30%. Tier 5 is 60%. I wait for him to continue, then ask, confused. And then what? No tier 6. Tier 6 only exists theoretically, full 100% mastery. Total fusion with your pattern. At that point, you're no longer really human. Whoa. Noted. But if I'm only at 1% mastery right now, what does the full version of Mirror Flower even look like? My brain immediately starts spiraling with possibilities. Wait, hold on. Since my system's the result of an actual game system mechanic, is Mirror Flower even one of the officially recorded leaf patterns? If it is, who had it before me? If it isn't, what the hell even is it? The deeper I think about it, the more mysterious my own giant mental mirror world becomes. Even though Tier 6 is purely theoretical, Zhang Fan continues, noticing my silence and assuming I'm shaken. Tier 5 users genuinely exist. Tier 5 is called Imperial Rank. Extremely rare. Fewer than 10 people on the entire planet have reached it. The entire planet? Less than 10. My eyes go wide. With billions of people on Earth, only 10 reach this level? That math is breaking my brain. How many does our country have? I ask, practically vibrating. Zhang Fan slowly raises 4 fingers. China is the chosen nation. We hold half of the world's Imperial Rank users. These 4 carry the titles: Flame Emperor, Ice Sovereign, Wind Ancestor, Thunder God, Flame Emperor, Ice Sovereign, Wind Ancestor, Thunder God. I mutter, burning the names into my memory. Unlike other countries' Imperial users, these 4 patterns are special. They have their own consciousness. And they never dissolve. Wait, what does that even mean? I'm thoroughly lost. Patterns having their own minds? Never dissolving? These 4 Emperor patterns have existed for over 1,000 years. Their entire purpose is protecting China, passed down generation after generation. And they're fundamentally different from regular patterns. First, normal patterns rest in a dormant state after their host dies before finding a new one. These 4 don't need rest. The moment a host dies, the pattern immediately transfers to the next person. Second, normal patterns always restart at level 1 with a new host, no matter how powerful the previous owner was. But every single Emperor, the instant they receive their pattern, instantly becomes Imperial Rank. Each pattern transfers differently, but every single carrier across history shares one trait. They were all willing to die protecting something. The chosen 4 emperors, passed down through generations. I'm genuinely stunned. The image of these 4 mythic figures burns itself into my brain. I feel like I just brushed against the true shape of this entire hidden world. Our ancestors set a rule, Zhang Fan adds. Any Chinese citizen who encounters one of the 4 emperors must address them with the proper honorific. Honorific? Like what? The same respect given to ancient emperors. You call them Your Majesty. Your Majesty. Wow. Powerful title. Noted, I think to myself. Zhang Fan checks his watch and stands, heading for the door. Wait, where are you going? I jump up. It's not safe out there, remember? There's still 100+ angry thugs hunting us. He grabs his black coat off the rack by the door. I have someone to find. The enemy? Yeah. I'm coming with you. He pauses, turning to look at me. I'm dead serious, full conviction on my face. We're friends. You're my boss. After last night, surviving an actual life or death fight together, I genuinely consider this guy my friend now. Sure, I'm a goofball most of the time with zero dignity, but loyalty's loyalty. He took a brutal hit shielding me from a literal demon last night. If I bail on him now, I'd never forgive myself. A surge of pure, dramatic hero energy floods through me. I'm practically ready to march into battle screaming his enemy's name, sword raised, brotherhood blood pact, and everything. I don't need friends, Zhang Fan says flatly, after a long silence. Me? Did not see that coming. It's like getting doused head to toe in ice water. All my heroic energy just evaporates instantly. He opens the door and walks out without looking back. As he disappears down the hall, one last sentence drifts back to me. My enemy is strong. You'd just die. I stand there frozen, staring at the empty doorway for a long moment. Then, slowly, I break into a huge grin. He didn't tell me to stay away outright. He just said I'd die. Different thing entirely. I'm taking that as an invitation. Meanwhile, at Qingyuan Heavy Industries, third person, since I'm not there, heels click down a long hallway. The sorcerer turns from the window, six-pointed star mask catching the light. Everything arranged, flower ghost giggles. Already done, all 51 floors of Qingyuan are crawling with armed thugs. Not even a fly's getting through. And that location, I'm personally guarding it, of course. Good. Timing's about right. Gauchen's probably scrambling right now. I'm heading out. Guard that spot with your life. Our new recruit never came back, Flower Ghost says, suddenly pouting. And I was so looking forward to seeing more of him. That waste of space, the sorcerer scoffs. Forget him. The mission matters more than one disposable rookie. Then his mask tilts slightly, suspicion flickering beneath it. Where's the envoy? He hasn't seen the puppeteer since the last meeting, and going into a heavily guarded Jinshan solo is risky. With backup, success would be near guaranteed. He shakes it off. Stopping the Ghost Lord is the envoy's job, not his concern. Meanwhile, at a small cafe, third person, this is Zhang Fan's POV, not mine. Noon. The city bakes under the sun, streets packed, music blasting cheerfully from some nearby shop. In the shade, Zhang Fan stands apart from the world around him, checking his phone. A 2-day-old message. Tianyin detected the puppeteer on July 26, 2:43 and 19 seconds p.m. Location, Zhenjiang Shuefu Road 8. Next observation window, 72 hours. He looks up at an ordinary-looking, slightly worn coffee shop, Manhwa Cafe, and pushes the door open. Ding. Welcome. A burst of coffee aroma greets him. Classic Western cafe aesthetic, brown tones, scattered wooden tables. A few customers scattered around. A suited man reading a magazine. A programmer in a green plaid shirt. 3 chatting college girls. Zhang Fan scans the room, lets the blade in his pocket relax slightly, and sits by the window with a quiet sigh. This really is just a normal cafe. Maybe the puppeteer just passed through here once when Tianyin spotted him. Treating this as his actual safe house seems unlikely. A young server approaches. Sir, what can I get you? Latte. No sugar. The server nods and walks off. Zhang Fan stares out the window, lost in thought. Time passes. The sun slips lower. Evening approaches. Wait, something's wrong. He snaps back to alertness. Why hasn't his coffee arrived after all this time? Why has no one come in or left? When did this lively cafe go completely, eerily silent? He turns, and his pupils shrink. All 6 other customers are standing now, staring directly at him with blank, lifeless eyes, faces frozen, stiff as puppets. His hair stands on end. He grips his blade and stands immediately. Puppeteer, he snarls, rage burning in his eyes. You finally noticed, the suited man says, voice flat and mechanical. This really is your safe house. Safe house. The programmer's face twists into a stiff grin. You think anyone uses a safe house, knowing Gauchen has Tianyin watching? Then how did you find me? I've been following you. The server says, voice dropping low, since you left. The hotel, and you, continues one of the college girls. Haven't you always been? Looking for me, finishes the third, and all 6 erupt into the same identical, hair-raising grin simultaneously. Come out. Zhang Fan roars, left eye flaring gold. He stomps the ground, and every table in the room slides back 3 feet, clearing the space. Hiding behind puppets to talk to me? Is this the great envoy of Shangxia? Pure rage radiates off him. The kitchen curtain shifts. A man in a white crying face mask steps out. Bold words for a tear. 1. The puppeteer says, voice cold and indifferent. As you wish. Xiang Lingfeng. Zhang Fan's breath quickens, fury blazing brighter. Do you remember Lu Fang? The puppeteer tilts his head, as if recalling something distant. The woman who cared more about money than her own life? Say that again. I dare you. Zhang Fan's teeth grind, gold light flaring like a tiny sun in his eye. Every table and chair starts trembling. Cups, silverware, and coffee beans on the counter lift into the air, as if an invisible hand is rearranging the entire cafe. What did you do to her, oh? What's your relationship to her? The puppeteer asks, ignoring the question, clearly entertained. Don't tell me. You're the precious son she nearly killed herself trying to save? Zhang Fan says nothing, just glares. My apologies, the puppeteer says, spreading his hands casually. She's dead. I killed her, Zhang Fan sighed. Third person, a thunderclap detonates inside Zhang Fan's skull. His whole body trembles uncontrollably. He'd braced for this answer already. Gauchen had told him this news once before, and even through the rage and despair, a sliver of hope had survived. What if they were wrong? Hearing it directly from the puppeteer's mouth shatters that hope completely. Mother, memories flood back. Lying in a hospital bed, suffering, his mother gently stroking his hair, singing him to sleep. The doctors telling her to give up on treatment, and her flatly refusing, scrambling for money anywhere she could find it. Xiao Fan, Mom will find a way to cure you. I promise. Her aging face, sitting beside his bed, voice soft and steady. Mother. Tears spilled down Zhang Fan's face. An overwhelming surge of power erupts from his left eye, the golden pattern spinning violently, black threads weaving through it, forming a tiny restraint formation that's been silently absorbing most of his strength this whole time. Crack. Something inside him breaks loose. A massive wave of mental energy floods out of his body. The puppeteer's eyes narrow slightly behind the mask, then settle back into calm. So you broke through to tier 2. Doesn't matter. The gap between us is something you can't even comprehend. Die. Zhang Fan roars, eyes bloodshot, fists clenched. He can feel it. Tier 2 has massively increased his control over his pattern. He channels everything into seizing control of the entire cafe, hurling cups, glass, knives, chairs, even the massive espresso machine straight at the puppeteer in one overwhelming wave. The puppeteer steps back calmly, and a massive silver figure materializes in front of him. A colossal metal ape filling almost the entire cafe, a single glowing red eye burning on its forehead. Puppet number 6. One-eyed Colossus, the puppeteer says lazily. Stand down. Your attack can't even crack his defense. His fingers twitch like he's pulling invisible strings. The Colossus's eye flares, and one swing of its massive arm shatters every floating weapon into dust. Thud, thud, thud. The metal beast roars silently, pounding its chest, the sound deafening. Zhang Fan's face goes pale. He just poured everything he had into that attack, and it got casually swatted aside. This is only puppet number 6. Are there a 5? A 4? A 1? The show's over, the puppeteer says, waving the Colossus away. I have important business. No time for this. The moment the Colossus vanishes, Zhang Fan's eyes light up. He channels his energy and sprints straight at the puppeteer. 5 meters. 3 meters. 1 meter. He flips a blade into his palm, gleaming cold, and stabs forward at lightning speed. Da-da, a soft sigh drifts from the mask. Zhang Fan's entire body freezes midair. Every muscle, every bone feels tethered by invisible strings, completely locked in place. His blade sits 1 hair's width from the white mask and won't move another inch. His pupils contract in pure disbelief. I told you, the gap's too big. Why didn't you believe me? The puppeteer sighs, lifting 2 fingers. Zhang Fan's body moves on its own, twisting unnaturally like a puppet, then snaps to attention like a soldier awaiting inspection. A crushing sense of helplessness floods through him. How do you fight something like this? Relax. Your ability's interesting. I won't kill you, the puppeteer says, glancing over before strolling toward the exit. But the rest of your life is going to be miserable. Zhang Fan's body follows obediently, a wide, beaming smile plastered across his face. Damn it. He can control my expression too. Zhang Fan throws everything he has into resisting. Nothing happens. Pure futility. A despair he's never felt before swallows him whole. Flash. Blinding gold light suddenly erupts from the cafe's giant window. Now back to me. The puppeteer flinches, one hand snapping up to cover his eyes. Zhang Fan tries to do the same. Except his body's still locked, so he just stands there getting blasted in the face, unable to even blink. Ding. Welcome. The cafe's electronic chime announces, completely deadpan, completely hilarious timing. The puppeteer doesn't hesitate, summoning the one-eyed Colossus instantly between us. Clang, clang, clang. A few mirror shards bury themselves deep into the Colossus's massive metal hand. Through the gaps between his fingers, the puppeteer makes out a teenage silhouette. Me, with 7 tiny floating suns orbiting behind me, walking calmly out of the light. Boss, I'm here to save you. Zhang Fan still half blind from my own flash, vision swimming white, but my voice hits him like a jolt. What are you doing here? Run. The golden light fades, and I step forward, face completely flat and unreadable, sweeping a cold glance over both of them like a king surveying peasants. Maximum dramatic effect. Internally, I am screaming with excitement. The hero arrives just in time moment is hitting different right now. I am living my best anime protagonist life. Wait, hold on. I glance at Zhang Fan and pause. Is he crying? Smiling? Both? Because right now Zhang Fan's face is locked into a blindingly bright, radiant smile. Genuinely, the kind of smile that would have girls swooning. Except tears are streaming down his cheeks at the same time. The most confusing emotional combo I've ever witnessed. Oh, I get it now. He must be so moved by my dramatic entrance he's crying tears of joy. My boss has a secretly soft heart. I am, for the record, extremely wrong about this. Who are you? The puppeteer asks warily, slightly thrown off by my entrance. The person who's going to kill you, I say, switching into full smoldering villain slayer mode, looking at him like he's an insect beneath my notice. Whoosh. Without warning, the Colossus's massive fist slams straight into me, sending me flying into the wall with a sickening crack, then crumpling to the floor like a sack of laundry. The puppeteer, that's IT, he genuinely expected someone scarier from that entrance, and instead the dramatic hero got one shot. Ji Qianming, Zhang Fan's voice cracks with alarm. I drag myself off the floor, face decorated with fresh bruises, pointing a shaky finger at the puppeteer. You? Cheap shot. That's so unfair. The puppeteer ignores me entirely, dismisses the Colossus, and flicks a finger. Since you're here too, might as well join him. My body suddenly snaps upright on its own, like I'm a puppet on invisible strings. My eyes go wide with pure disbelief. This is his power? He can just control bodies directly? Is Zhang Fan being controlled too right now? Then it clicks. That's why he was smiling so weirdly. He's not happy. He's being made to smile. The puppeteer, almost helpfully, confirms exactly that a moment later. And just like that, two teenage boys, both grinning like absolute idiots against their will, follow the puppeteer obediently out the door into the fading light. On floor 51 of Qingyuan Heavy Industries, Flower Ghost lounges bored in a chair, behind her a massive metal door, 4 meters tall, 7 meters wide, wrapped in thick chains, radiating cold air like it's actively containing something. What the hell is this thing? She mutters, shivering. According to the sorcerer, headquarters personally shipped this in a month ago, sealed under strict orders that nobody opens it. It's the entire mission's key objective. Curious, she pokes a finger toward the door. Instant bone-deep cold floods her arm. She yanks back, gasping frost. Then a side door creaks open. The puppeteer walks in, with me and Zhang Fan trailing behind him, both of us grinning like complete idiots, against our will, mind you. Who are these two? Flower Ghost asks. The kid who killed Qingliao, the puppeteer says flatly. Their abilities are interesting. I'll bring them to headquarters for study once I'm back. Watch them closely. Flower Ghost studies us both with delight, barely glancing at me, then locking onto Zhang Fan's handsome face. Well, aren't you a pretty one? She purrs, tilting his chin up with one hand. Zhang Fan's eyes flash with fury, jerking his head away, visibly disgusted. Flower Ghost only gets more excited by the resistance, running her hands all over him like he's a new toy, pressing herself against him shamelessly while I stand there, mouth open, genuinely offended on his behalf. Internally, come on, do I really have zero presence here? My boss is suffering and you're not even looking at me? Enough. They're valuable test subjects, not your personal snack, the puppeteer says coldly. She pouts, withdraws reluctantly. Understood, envoy. She radios for backup, and 2 heavily armored thugs arrive with submachine guns and night vision helmets. Take these 2 and lock them up. Guard them properly. The envoy specifically requested them, she says, dragging out. Envoy, like an insult, glancing sideways at him the whole time. The puppeteer just stands there, expression unreadable behind the white mask. The guards clamp heavy metal restraints onto our wrists, locking mechanisms sealing tight, and press gun barrels into our backs. The puppeteer waves a hand, and suddenly the invisible strings controlling our bodies vanish. I get full control of myself back instantly. Don't try anything clever, or, the puppeteer warns coldly. Zhang Fan shakes his head at me, and I swallow whatever furious comeback was already halfway out of my mouth. The guards march us out. Zhang Fan glances back once at the puppeteer, expression blank, clearly thinking something he's not saying. Once we're gone, the puppeteer turns to leave too. Time's almost up. I need to head out. Flower Ghost, handle yourself well. He doesn't even glance at her, walking off with that one flat sentence. She scoffs at his retreating back and settles back into her chair. Meanwhile, outside the Jinshan tourist area, a crowd of confused travelers grumbles about the entire scenic zone being locked down. What's going on? Why'd they suddenly close everything? I came all the way from Yangzhou for nothing. They brought in the military. Is there a terrorist or something? A 10-kilometer radius around Jinshan Temple is now a full military exclusion zone. Despite the heavy security, a figure rises eerily out of the ground at the forest's edge, the sorcerer, six-pointed star mask gleaming, walking straight past patrolling troops without anyone noticing. He crouches, draws a complex geometric pattern in the dirt with a fallen branch, something resembling an alchemical circle, presses his palm onto it, and yellow electric sparks crawl across the symbol. A flash of light. He vanishes. Up on Jinshan itself, white-coated technicians plant small flags in some intricate ritual pattern across the mountainside, in dirt, between rocks, even directly into tree trunks. Inside a tent at the summit, a young man with his arm in a cast paces anxiously. The tent flap opens. Chui Peng walks in, Park Ji-min behind him. Teacher. Yin Yi's face lights up immediately. Yin Yi, how's the arm? Chui Peng asks, a flicker of anger flashing in his eyes before settling back into calm. Yin Yi's excitement deflates, replaced with embarrassment. Just a regular fracture. Nothing serious. Just can't fight for a couple days. Chui Peng nods, claps his shoulder, admiration clear in his expression. Not bad, kid. You held your own against the sorcerer, a top tier 3, no less. Please don't praise me, teacher. Yun Yi laughs weakly. That wasn't a draw. He didn't even get hurt. Yun Yi, your ability was never built for direct combat. Getting that result is genuinely impressive, Park Ji-min adds warmly. Yun Yi blushes at her words, eyes brightening, nodding firmly. Yun Yi, Chui Peng's tone turns serious. I know this is a heavy ask, but the situation's critical. We need your power. You have the right to refuse. No pressure to answer right now. Teacher. Yun Yi cuts in immediately, eyes blazing with resolve. I'm a Gaochen student. We don't back down. Just tell me what you need. I'm not afraid of anything. Chui Peng goes quiet a moment, visibly moved. Yun Yi, that thing's emergence got bumped up early. The four symbols formation isn't finished, and if it surfaces like this, it'll cause mass panic. We need you to generate fog. He spreads his arms wide, tracing a huge circle. A fog ring spanning 10 kilometers around Jinshan. Doesn't need to cover everything. Just enough to form a perimeter so outsiders can't see what's happening inside. Yun Yi nods firmly. Understood. I'll get it done. Chui Peng says nothing, just claps his shoulder again, looking at him with quiet respect. Good kid. They leave the tent. Chui Peng glances back once, voice turning cold. That sorcerer. He dies. No exceptions. Don't worry, teacher, Park Ji-min says, killing intent flashing across her pretty face. Anyone who hurts my junior, I'll hunt them to the ends of the earth. On the mountainside, the sorcerer suddenly bursts up out of the ground, stumbling, nearly falling over. His face is pale with frustration behind the mask, eyes locked on the summit, deep in thought. So this is Gaochen's Three Treasures maze formation. The 9 arrays really do live up to the reputation, he mutters. He'd tried tunneling straight up the mountain using his earth-burrowing power, and instead got trapped in the maze formation for an entire hour, only to circle back to exactly where he started. He thinks for a moment, then his eyes harden with resolve. Fine. If sneaking up doesn't work, he'll force his way through. He pulls out a jar of unidentifiable blood, dips his fingers in, and starts drawing an alchemical circle on the ground. It takes a full 5 minutes and drains an enormous amount of mental energy. By the time he finishes the final stroke, he's swaying, barely staying upright. The finished circle stretches 2 meters wide, a horrifyingly intricate red pattern soaked in dread, like something bled straight out of hell. Just looking at it makes ordinary minds recoil. He rests briefly, then bites his own finger until blood wells up, presses both palms onto the circle. Crack! Lightning splits from the cloud straight into the circle's center. Brilliant electric light floods out, and a massive blood-red door materializes, hovering in midair, screams and wailing echoing from beyond it. Brutal guardian of hell, god of blood and darkness, with the blood of 61 living creatures I summon you. Bring disaster once more upon this world. Let the ignorant offer you their fear. Great Cerberus, the sorcerer howls, half kneeling, arms spread wide like a devout cultist. Thud, thud, thud. Heavy impacts echo from beyond the bloody door, answering his call. Boom. The door bursts open. A massive black shape leaps out, slamming onto the ground. A creature 6 stories tall, wolf-like, covered in needle-sharp fur, 3 snarling heads rearing up simultaneously and letting out a piercing howl. The roar reaches all the way to the summit. Everyone freezes, exchanging shocked glances. Inside Jinshan Temple, Chui Pang and Park Ji-min both whip around, eyes locked on the source of the noise. Teacher, let me handle this, Park Ji-min says, killing intent flashing in her eyes. Chui Pang frowns, opens his mouth to object, but she cuts him off with a bright smile. You've got bigger enemies to deal with, don't you? We're not the helpless students who needed you handling everything anymore. Go. I've got this. Chui Pang hesitates a long moment, then sighs, voice serious. Be careful out there. She grins playfully, pulls out a sleek silver briefcase from nowhere, presses a button. Mechanical whirring sounds emerge from inside. Click. The briefcase transforms like something out of a robot movie. 2 seconds later, she's holding a 5-foot silver spear, spindle-shaped tip, a red tassel trailing in the wind, sharp glints flickering off the blade. Teacher, I'm off, she calls out cheerfully, sprinting down the mountain like lightning. Chui Pang watches her go, a proud smile spreading across his face. On the mountainside, the massive black shape, Cerberus, leaps through the forest, snapping trees in half, kicking up huge clouds of dust as it charges forward. The sorcerer rides steady on its back, eyes fixed on the barely visible summit, frowning behind his mask. At this monster's speed, the trip from mid-mountain to summit should take seconds. They've been charging for nearly 5 minutes now, and the summit hasn't gotten closer at all. This maze formation is genuinely irritating, he curses, obviously the array messing with their movement. His entire mission hinges on reaching the top. If he can't even get there, the whole plan falls apart. He can't afford to look incompetent. Just as he's about to make a move, a flash of cold steel streaks down from the summit. Cerberus senses danger instantly, slamming a paw into a massive boulder, shattering it to dust, and using the recoil to dodge sideways. Boom. A silver spear slams into the ground exactly where Cerberus had been a moment before, leaving a crater 5 meters deep. Terrifying strength. The sorcerer's pupils contract. Without Cerberus's beast instincts, that hit would have crippled him on the spot. A graceful figure drops from the sky, landing lightly. Spear, return, she commands sharply. The buried spear shudders violently, transforming into a streak of silver light and flying back into her hand. Park Ji-min stands there in her red dress, golden hair flowing in the wind, every trace of her earlier playfulness gone, replaced by cold, sharp killing intent, spear pointed at the ground. You're Gauchin's war goddess, the sorcerer gasps, recognizing her instantly. Oomph. She twirls the spear once, tip leveling directly at him. You're the one who hurt my junior. The sorcerer smirks. You mean the weather control kid? Heh, not much actual power, just a lot of flashy tricks. Fury erupts in her eyes instantly, killing intent surging, and a pattern glows on her exposed back beneath the dress. A massive warrior goddess silhouette shimmers into existence behind her, pressure flooding the entire area. The sorcerer's knees buckle, nearly forcing him down. Pattern danger rank A14. War soul, he forces out through gritted teeth, fighting to stay upright. Her hair lifts on its own, faint red light glowing from her eyes, her presence reaching its absolute peak. An unstoppable war goddess made flesh. Not much power, you said? Let's see exactly how much you have. She slams her foot into the ground hard enough to crack the earth wide open, then launches forward like a loosed arrow, straight at Cerberus. The hellhound roars in warning, all three heads snarling, claws raking toward her. Despite being literally a dozen times her size, she doesn't flinch for a second. The two collide at full speed. She pivots, twists her hips, and thrusts the spear directly into the incoming claw. Spear strike like a dragon's lunge. Clang. The impact sends shockwaves through the ground beneath them both, gouging a massive crater, wind howling violently between claw and spear. Cerberus gets knocked back several steps. Park Ji-min only slides back two before steadying completely. She just outmuscled a six-story hellhound. The sorcerer, having leapt off Cerberus's back at some point, stares in disbelief. What kind of monster is this woman? She's stronger than Cerberus? Park Ji-min raises her spear, contempt flashing in her eyes. Your power, she says flatly, is unimpressive. Hey, the sorcerer chuckles darkly, voice slithering out from behind the mask like a snake. War goddess or not, I haven't even started. He pulls out a pair of white gloves, slides them on slowly, each one tattooed with a different alchemical circle on the back. Park Ji-min's eyebrow lifts. Her spear hums, she coils her stance, and charges again. The sorcerer stands still, muttering under his breath. The red sigil on his glove flares. A fireball the size of a soccer ball materializes in his palm, flame churning violently, the heat reflecting off his mask in a hellish red glow. He flings it at her. He's not done. Mid-chant, two more fireballs appear, forming a triangle around her, sealing off every escape route. She scoffs, jabs her spear 3 times in rapid succession, 3 afterimages, each strike landing dead center on a fireball. Bang, bang, bang. All 3 fireballs disperse into streaks of falling light. She doesn't even slow down, lunging through the fading light straight at his heart. The sorcerer's eyes go wide. He slams his palm into the ground and sinks straight through it. Her spear hits nothing but air. She pauses, frowning. Earth-burrowing, 5 meters away, the sorcerer reappears, grinning cruelly, and snaps his fingers. Click! A massive red alchemical circle blooms beneath her feet, dread radiating off it. Her eyes widen in shock, and an instant later, red light erupts, swallowing her whole in fire, followed by a chain of explosions. Boom, boom, boom. A mushroom cloud rises off the mountainside, visible all the way to the summit. Up top, Chui Pang's pupils contract instantly. He's about to charge down the mountain when a flat, emotionless voice speaks beside him. I'd advise against moving. He turns, pale-faced, to find a young man in Gauchen's white uniform standing right next to him, speaking with mechanical detachment. Puppeteer, Chui Pang growls, voice ice cold. How did you break through the 3 treasures maze? Who said I did? The puppet-controlled young man smirks stiffly. I just took control of one of your subordinates on a different mountain and walked him right in. Chui Pang scoffs. Pointless. Your actual body is too far away. You can only control this one puppet. You're no match for me. Oh, the young man whips out a gun, pressing it to his own temple. Even if it costs your subordinate his life? Watching Chui Pang's face go rigid, the puppet laughs. I don't need to fight you directly. All I need is your weakness. And yours, Ghost Lord, is your soft heart. Coward, hiding behind puppets, fury boils up in Chui Pang, fists clenching, internal struggle written all over his face. Absolute darkness creeps from beneath his feet, plunging the entire temple roof into freezing cold. A long moment passes. He finally unclenches his fists, the darkness retreating, eyes fixed worriedly on the direction of the explosion. Ji-min, please be okay. Down at the crater, the sorcerer sneers at the smoking wreckage. War goddess, huh? Look how easily I played her. Just as he's basking in his victory, he notices Cerberus still tense, all muscles locked, staring straight ahead like it's facing a genuine threat. His stomach drops. He turns toward the wreckage, dread crawling up his spine. The dust and smoke are swirling, twisting faster and faster, coalescing into an actual tornado. The centrifugal force tears leaves off branches and lifts stones off the ground, sucking them into the vortex. At the center stands Park Ji-min, spear raised, completely calm. She flicks it upward, a faint dragon-like roar echoes off the tip, and the entire tornado bursts apart violently, snapping thick trees in half, tearing a literal hole through the clouds above, as if the sky itself just got stabbed. The wind howls, Cerberus crouches low, claws dug deep into the ground, growling at the chaos ahead. The sorcerer gets blown back several steps, barely steadying himself with a hastily drawn rune. What kind of monster is this woman? He curses, face pale. The wind dies down. Her dress is torn in places, pale skin showing through, but she doesn't care at all, just stares coldly at the man and beast. Is this really the best a top-tier tier 3 can do? She shakes her head, lips curling in disdain. Fine then. Let me show you what real strength looks like. The pattern on her back flares brighter, her presence climbing higher and higher. The warrior goddess silhouette materializes behind her again, denser, sharper, far more terrifying than before. Grant me possession, she says, spear pointed down, left hand forming an intricate seal, bowing slightly toward the apparition behind her. White light flows from the silhouette into her body. Her entire aura transforms instantly. Overwhelming power radiates outward, blanketing the entire area. Her expression turns solemn, eyes carrying the weight of someone who looks down on the entire world. And just standing there, she crushes the sorcerer beneath an invisible weight he can barely withstand. His memory races through everything he knows about this dangerous pattern. Danger rank A14, War Soul, allows communication with deceased legendary warriors. If they grant approval, the user gains their guardianship, access to their signature techniques, even full possession. But the conditions are brutal. The warrior must have killed countless enemies in life, with bloodshed lingering at one location for ages. And approval itself is vague at best, usually near death, and failure means total annihilation of body and soul. She's in full possession state right now, the sorcerer realizes. But what kind of legendary figure carries this much power? May I ask for your name? He forces out, barely managing to look up. Her expression doesn't shift at all. She raises the spear, and a deep, masculine voice rumbles out from her mouth. Zhao Zilong of Changshan. Requesting battle. The battle, third person Zhao. Zhao Yun, the sorcerer's face spasms beneath his mask. She found the war soul of one of the legendary 5 tiger generals, and got his approval? Before he can even react, Park Ji-min blurs and vanishes from sight. Impossibly fast. Completely different league from before. His pupils shrink in pure dread. Cerberus roars, lunging, and its left head explodes in a spray of blood, a spear punching straight through it. Blood splatters across her face. Her expression doesn't shift at all, like a bloodied war god carved from ice. The remaining 2 heads snap viciously toward her, jaws gnashing. She blurs again, dodging every bite with perfect precision, then thrusts twice in rapid succession, dragon roars echoing off the spear tip. Both remaining heads burst into mist. The headless body of Cerberus collapses, blood gushing like a fountain, the whole creature dissolving into black smoke that vanishes into the sky. 3 strikes. She killed his ultimate trump card in 3 hits. The sorcerer trembles violently, crushing helplessness flooding through him. How does anyone fight something this terrifying? She flicks her bloodied spear casually, splattering droplets across his mask, like she barely registered killing it, the way someone swats an insect without thinking. He bites through his own tongue, slamming a massive alchemical circle into existence beneath his feet, and burrows desperately into the ground, burning life force itself for an emergency long-range teleport. He's genuinely terrified now. He swears internally, never cross this woman again. The mission? Forget the mission. Why would he stick around with a literal war god on the field? The ground rushes past as he tunnels away, and just as he starts feeling relief at escaping, a familiar silver spear punches straight through his chest from behind. What? He turns, stunned, and sees a 20-meter-long spear gash carved through the earth behind him. Someone stabbed straight through solid ground and through his chest with pinpoint accuracy. He groans in agony, clutching the wound. A black alchemical mark glows there. As a veteran Shangxia Corps member, he'd modified his own body years ago, growing a second heart. This hit alone won't kill him. Gritting through the pain, hope flickering, he tries yanking the spear free and freezes. A figure in a red dress is already beside him, slender hand gripping the spear shaft, staring at him with zero warmth. SHHK? The spear rips free. His face contorts in agony. Before he can even scream, a terrifying wave of power floods off her body. She raises the spear and thrusts it skyward. Boom. A blinding white beam erupts from deep underground, punching straight through the earth and into the sky, tearing an actual hole through the cloud layer, sunlight pouring through. This single strike literally punched a hole in the sky. Inside that beam, the sorcerer is obliterated. Not a single trace remains. Park Ji-min watches the spot where he vanished, then speaks calmly. It's done. Don't summon me for opponents this week again. Handle it yourself next time. The terrifying aura around her vanishes instantly. Her legs give out, and she collapses to the ground, gasping for breath, face pale. Got it, she mumbles, pouting weakly. Won't happen again. Up at the summit, Chui Pang watches all this unfold, breaking into uncontrollable laughter. Puppeteer, you see this? Didn't even need me to step in. That spear strike was beyond legendary. That's my student. Ha ha ha, TCH. Another disposable failure, the puppet-controlled young man scoffs, lowering his gun, smirking coldly. But don't celebrate too early. I never actually expected that idiot to succeed. He was just a distraction. My real goal's already accomplished. Chui Pang's laughter cuts dead. His expression turns deadly serious. What did you do? Guess. The young man flashes a wide grin, then suddenly shudders and collapses to the ground. Chui Pang curses. The puppeteer just released control of his puppet, meaning his actual goal has already been achieved. Then the temple floor beneath Chui Pang's feet starts shaking violently. Now back to me. Two heavily armed thugs march Zhang Fan and me at gunpoint into a tiny storage closet. Get in, one of them barks, kicking me hard. I stumble forward and land face first on the floor. Hey, I'm about to launch into a furious tirade when, clang, the heavy metal door slams shut. Boss, they're bullying me, I whine, looking over at Zhang Fan with my best pitiful face. He doesn't respond. Instead, he just stands up and starts scanning the room. Its tiny, rusted shelving units eat up 2/3 of the space, leaving barely enough room for both of us to lie down sideways. Thick dust everywhere, cobwebs hanging right over our heads. Clearly nobody's set foot in here in years. Since Zhang Fan's ignoring me, I try yanking my hands out of the metal restraint. Some kind of locking mechanism has them clamped down tight, no matter how hard I pull. Fine. Time for plan B. I quietly try to activate Fantasist, picturing a chainsaw in my head as hard as I can. But when I open my eyes, nothing. Empty air. Wait, what? Even a failed summon should default to something. At minimum, a sad little flower, right? It won't work, Zhang Fan says, frowning. These are specialized restraints. They block your spiritual flow entirely. Your pattern's completely sealed. My face drops instantly. No power, no escape plan. Great. Love this. Zhang Fan finishes scanning the room, sits cross-legged, and closes his eyes to meditate. Boss, aren't you even a little worried? I ask, baffled by how calm he is. Why would I be? That crying mask freak wants to drag us off for experiments. My brain immediately conjures every horror movie human experimentation scene imaginable. I shudder. Gauchin will come for us, he says simply. I'm practically in tears. Boss, everyone's probably busy at Jinshan waiting for that thing to show up. Who's even going to know we got kidnapped? Tianyan, Zhang Fan says, totally unbothered. What's Tianyan? A special Gauchin satellite. Monitors leaf pattern energy fluctuations across the planet, used to track superpowered people. OH. That explains it. That's how Chui Pang knew I had a pattern within days of getting it. Satellite surveillance the whole time. So Tianyan can see us right now? Is Gauchin already on the way? I leap up, suddenly bursting with hope. Tianyan orbits the entire Earth, completing one full loop every 72 hours, Zhang Fan says flatly, instantly murdering my optimism. It won't pass over Zhenjiang again for another 20 hours. I collapse back to the floor. 20 hours. I'll probably be cut open on a lab table by then. Wait. If Tianyan can already track every leaf pattern user, why doesn't Gauchin just find Shangxia's headquarters and wipe them out directly? I ask, suddenly curious. Tianyan's scanning depth has limits. Anything buried more than 5 meters underground is invisible to it, Zhang Fan explains. Also, taking down Shangxia isn't actually our job. That falls to Unit 0. We've got bigger enemies. Unit 0? I blink, waiting for him to elaborate. He gives me a tired look. If there's a superpowered terrorist organization, There's naturally a national superpowered counterterrorism unit. Unit 0 exists specifically to handle Shangxia. National Anti-Superpower Task Force, Unit 0. I mutter the name to myself. Sounds pretty cool, honestly. I'm about to ask more, but Zhang Fan just shuts his eyes again, clearly done answering questions for the day. Being this guy's personal Wikipedia must be exhausting for him. He's basically a walking encyclopedia who occasionally tolerates my existence. I pout, swallow my next question, even though my curiosity is burning. Who actually is this guy? We're both technically new students. How does he know this much already? I think about it for a while, get nowhere, and eventually close my own eyes too, retreating into my mental mirror space. Everything looks the same except the soul energy log, which is absolutely flooded with new entries. Li Guden 4 Wang Taiju 7 Zhang Wei 6. I scroll forever before reaching the bottom. All red entries. Anger. I'm so confused. Who are these people? I don't recognize a single name. And how did I make this many people this furious? When did I have time to anger an entire small army? I scroll to the very last entry, deep red this time. Qingliao Soul Energy 50. Oh, right. Him. The green demon guy. Then it hits me, the biker mob. All the names match the gang I outran the other night. There you are, my dear benefactors. I quickly do the math. Combined, they've handed me almost 400 soul energy points. My progress bar, which was barely 20% full, just rocketed to 60%. What absolute angels. Truly, my favorite people. I'm officially onto something here. Single target damage gives terrible returns. Mass crowd panic is the actual meta. While I'm grinning at my newfound farming strategy, a thought suddenly strikes me. Wait, the restraint seals leaf pattern abilities. But my power isn't from a leaf pattern. It's from the system. My heart races. I quietly try activating knot flower on the metal restraint itself. The metal surface immediately flickers and displays a close-up of an attractive woman. It worked. The restraint can't actually block this. I'm officially even more curious now about where my mirror system even comes from. This thing's carved out an entire dimension in my mind, given me something pattern-shaped but not technically a pattern, complete with its own soul energy economy. But even if knot flower works, there isn't a single mirror in this dusty storage closet. The restraint's metal surface barely reflects anything. Am I supposed to ask the guards to bring me a vanity mirror? I calm down and think harder. Mirror. Mirror. Where's a mirror around here? Then it hits me. When the puppeteer was controlling my body earlier, I caught a glimpse of this entire building's exterior. Almost the whole thing is covered in highly reflective glass. My eyes light up. Boss, I just figured out how to get Gouch in here right now. Zhang Fan opens his eyes, confused. What's the plan? He-hey? I grin, all mischief. You'll see. But I need to get out of this room first. My range is too short from in here. His eyes widen slightly. Your ability works? I nod, tilt my head toward the door, and shoot him a meaningful look. Help. Someone help. This metal restraint's about to explode. I unleash a scream of pure terror. The two guards outside freeze, exchange a panicked look, and burst through the door. What's all the screaming about? One snaps angrily. They look down. The metal block on my wrist is glowing red-hot, like it just came out of a forge, looking seconds from detonating. It's burning my hand. It just started doing this on its own. Help me. I'm a valuable test subject. Do you really want to explain to the boss why I died? I'm flailing, voice cracking with manufactured panic. The guards exchange a baffled glance. This thing's never exploded before. Since when do restraints just spontaneously combust? Hold on, let me check with command, one says, reaching for his radio. Then he hears a whoosh of air behind his ear, and a heavy object slams into the back of his skull. His eyes roll back, and he drops instantly. The other guard spins around and finds a handsome teenage boy standing there, calmly holding a metal block, cold-eyed. You. He barely gets the word out before his hand darts for his belt. Thwack. Another clean hit. Down he goes too. I glance at the two unconscious guards and sigh dramatically. Geez. Should have just opened the door when I asked. Didn't need to check with command. Let's move. They check in periodically. We don't have much time, Zhang Fan says, barely glancing at the two unconscious guards. I quickly grab a walkie-talkie off one of their belts using my teeth, tuck it under my arm, and we both hunch low, hugging the wall. The hallway outside the storage room is long, lined with identical metal doors on either side. Besides our two snoozing victims, completely empty. How far does your power reach? Zhang Fan whispers, eyes narrowed. I think for a sec. Around 10 meters, I think. Honestly, never properly tested my range. The only data point I have is distance to the bathroom mirror when I scaredly Tao. Better to be cautious. He nods, and we creep toward the end of the hallway. Ahead opens up into a massive office floor. Neat rows of desks, completely abandoned, except for 5 armed thugs slowly patrolling in different directions. My eyes light up. I spot it. The manager's office has glass partitions, decent reflective quality, and behind it the floor-to-ceiling window is part of this building's actual exterior glass surface. Perfect. I nudge Zhang Fan, pointing with my eyes toward the office. He frowns thoughtfully. Okay, target located. Now, how do we get past 5 armed gunmen? I'll be the distraction. You sneak around while they're focused on me. We're valuable test subjects. They won't actually kill me, Zhang Fan offers quietly, after some thought. I shake my head, and instead start creeping backward down the hallway we just came from. Zhang Fan, confused, follows anyway. I stop at a small wooden door, jam the metal block against the handle, and push down. Creak. The door swings open, releasing an unmistakable smell. Inside, a cramped closet packed with mops, brooms, and a plunger. A janitor closet? Zhang Fan blinks. Why are we here? Hiding? The moment they realize we escaped, they'll sweep this whole place. This is the worst possible hiding spot. Before he can voice this, I yank him inside and whisper my plan. Boss, I'm going to use this radio to report a fake escape. Send everyone on this floor running in the wrong direction. Once they clear out, we sneak to the manager's office. His eyes light up, and he nods. Credit where it's due. I'm clearly the brains of this duo when it comes to dirty tricks. I clear my throat, press the radio button with the metal block, and announce in a serious voice. The 2 kids on floor 50 just escaped. Repeat, they escaped. Heading toward the north stairwell, all units converge immediately. Copy. On our way, comes the instant response. I grin smugly, victory practically tasting itself. Wait, hold on. Number 8, since when are you a man? A confused voice cuts in over the radio. Me. Zhang Fan. Oh, right. One of the guards never said a single word the whole time. Fully geared up head to toe, not a strand of hair visible. How were we supposed to know? Number 8 was a woman? Crap. 8 and 9 are down. Floor 50, full alert. Sweep everything. Find them now. A different, deeper male voice barks immediately, followed by a wave of confirmations. I can already hear footsteps closing in. Panic floods through me. Boss, what now? Zhang Fan's eyes lock onto the wooden door, every muscle tensing, fully shifting into predator mode. We improvise. I swallow hard. They've got submachine guns. One burst, and we're done. The footsteps get closer. Zhang Fan crouches slightly, ears twitching, like a hunter waiting to strike. Now, his eyes flash with sharp focus, and he slams his entire body against the door. Boom. The door bursts open just as a gunman happens to be passing. He hears the crash and turns. Before the door even finishes falling, Zhang Fan, like he already knew exactly where the guy would be standing, pivots and slams the metal restraint block straight into his face with brutal force. A scream. The mask shatters, embedding fragments into his bloody face as he collapses. I'm just standing there, jaw on the floor. This guy is terrifying even without his power. Go, Zhang Fan shouts, snapping me out of it. I bolt toward the office area. One remaining guard spots us, raises his gun, opens fire. Rat-a-tat-a-tat. Bullets shred the air. We both dive to the floor, rolling under a cluster of desks. Go? I've got him, Zhang Fan yells, swinging the metal block upward to block a barrage of bullets, sparks flying off it with a deafening clang. He weaves between desks, glancing at the metal block, not a single dent. Whatever this thing's made of, it's basically indestructible. Hearing him, I grit my teeth and sprint, low and fast, toward the manager's office. The glass room gets closer and closer when the gunman fighting Zhang Fan suddenly notices me and swings his aim my way. Get down, Zhang Fan's voice cuts through the chaos. I drop instantly, instinct taking over. A spray of bullets schemes past, missing my scalp by inches. Cold sweat floods my entire body. As the gunman tries to refocus on me, Zhang Fan launches himself up from under the desk, kicks off it like a springboard, and tackles the guy straight to the ground. They wrestle violently, Zhang Fan pinning him down, smashing the metal block into him over and over until he's a bloody mess. And that's when I finally, burst through the door into the glass office. My pattern flickers, and I instantly slam Notflower into action. "Boss, get in," I scream. Zhang Fan finishes off the gunman, then practically parkours over a row of desks like a professional obstacle racer and vaults straight into the office. I slam the door, channel my power, and our entire reflections vanish from the glass. Right on cue, more armed thugs burst into the office area, scanning everywhere. Weird. I heard gunfire here, but there's literally no one. Number 3. One of them yells, spotting his bloody, unconscious teammate on the floor. "They came through here," another snaps, frowning. "They're probably heading to a different floor by now. Alert floor 49 immediately. Full alert. What about Flower Ghost on 51? She already knows." Honestly, if those kids are stupid enough to go up to 51, that's basically suicide, he scoffs. Meanwhile, I'm sitting on the floor of the invisible glass office, gasping for breath. Holy crap, that was way too close. Old me would never have believed I'd survive getting chased by men with literal submachine guns. They genuinely can't see us anymore. Zhang Fan watches the thug's eyes pass straight over us like we don't exist. He's never seen this ability in action before, clearly intrigued. I grin proudly. My power lets me bend the physics of reflective surfaces. I'm absorbing part of the light hitting the glass, so obviously, no light bouncing back means no us. He nods, then asks, "Did the distress signal go out?" I flash him my biggest, most confident smile. "Don't worry, boss. They will see it." Meanwhile, downtown. "Hey, look at that." What I asked that. Didn't know this building had a display screen. First time seeing it. Gauchin save me? What's that supposed to mean? Probably an ad. This is some heavy industry company. Gauchin's maybe a new product line. Oh, makes sense. Across Qingyuan Heavy Industries' entire glass exterior, massive red letters glow brilliantly in the sunlight. Gauchin save me. Each character spans roughly 5 stories. The exclamation mark alone stretches across 8 full floors. The entire downtown district instantly notices the building. Nearby, 2 figures stand frozen on the sidewalk, staring up. "Your Majesty, is that?" The glasses-wearing assistant, a long wooden case strapped to his back, gapes in disbelief. The beige trenchcoat uncle stares for a long beat, then bursts out laughing. Interesting. Genuinely interesting. First time Gauchin's name has ever been displayed this shamelessly to the entire public. The assistant has no idea what to even say. He suspects if the Academy's resident troublemakers saw this, they'd immediately recognize a kindred spirit. "King Duodo," the uncle says, smiling, "looks like our 2 little friends are in trouble. Go help them out." "But your Majesty, if I leave you," the assistant gestures at the long wooden case on his back, hesitating. "Just find me once you're done." "What? You don't trust my own strength?" the uncle teases. The assistant shakes his head quickly, bowing respectfully. "Be careful, your Majesty. I'll wrap this up fast." He sprints off toward Qingyuan with the massive wooden case bouncing on his back. The uncle watches the glowing red message in silence, lost in thought. Meanwhile, at the hotel, "Master, look at that." The silver-haired girl points toward the distant skyscraper. "Gauchin save me?" The older woman raises an eyebrow. Which Gauchin Jr. pulled this off? So shameless. The silver-haired girl smiles, crescent moon eyes glinting with amusement as she studies the building. "I think it's kind of fun, actually. I wonder what kind of person comes up with something like this." The woman considers it. "Let's go check it out. They're Gauchin's people. We should help if we can." "Yes, master," the girl says, eyes brightening. Back at Qingyuan, floor 51, Flower Ghost's eyebrow twitches. "You're telling me you searched the entire building and still couldn't find them?" "Yes, ma'am," comes the shaky voice over the radio. "We've got everyone doing a full sweep. Should be any minute." Useless, her face goes white with rage. If the envoy finds out she lost track of 2 teenagers, especially after she gave him attitude earlier, she's dead the second she gets back to headquarters. She scoffs, stands, glances back at the sealed metal door behind her. Should be fine to step away for a bit, right? After a moment's hesitation, she makes her decision and heads toward the side door. Meanwhile, back to me, floor 50. I'm sprawled comfortably in a fancy executive chair, feet up on the desk, watching the thugs outside frantically searching for traces of us. Life is good. Meanwhile, more red names keep scrolling across my mental mirror. Li Yifeng 3 Kai Shukuan 5 Luhan 4. Absolute legends, all of them. I genuinely want to go shake each of their hands and thank them personally for their generous soul energy donations. Zhang Fan stands quietly nearby, watching the window carefully. Suddenly, a flower petal drifts in through the air vent, spinning gently before landing on my nose. I brush it off, confused. Wait, we're 50 floors up. Why is there a flower petal coming through the vents? While I'm puzzling over this, a sultry figure in a rose-patterned mask steps slowly out into the office area. Ma'am, the remaining thugs murmur, bowing instantly, full respect. Flower Ghost, in heels, casually kicks one guard square in the head, her stiletto heel punching straight through his skull. He drops instantly, blood and brain matter pooling on the floor. The other guards visibly flinch in horror. My face goes white. I almost throw up watching that. Zhang Fan's jaw tightens, eyes locked on her with pure focus. Bunch of useless trash, she says coldly. They're hiding right in front of you, and you still can't find them. Slowly, she turns her head. The rose mask points directly toward me. Cold sweat instantly drenches my entire body. I vault off the executive chair, full panic mode. Interesting. Some kind of illusion-type pattern. Flower Ghost narrows her eyes. From her angle, the office genuinely looks empty. Who would even think to check inside such a transparent room? She flicks her wrist. Several red rose petals fire out, moving as fast as actual bullets. Clang, clang, clang. The petals hit the glass and bounce off, leaving white scuff marks, but nothing else. She frowns. She knows exactly how much force was behind that. Easily bullet equivalent. And a basic office partition just blocked it? Is this bulletproof glass? One of these two kids definitely has a mirror-based power. She figures this out instantly. She's not wrong. The moment her hand moved, I sensed it and immediately cranked the glass's hardness to maximum. Barely enough to survive that strike. She scoffs, the pattern on her calf glowing. A storm cloud of red petals erupts, swarming straight at the office, slicing into the same small section of glass over and over, carving white scars deeper and deeper with every passing second. Boss, I can't hold this much longer. I grit my teeth, pushing knot flower to its absolute limit. There's just too many petals, all concentrated on one spot. Even a literal tank's armor wouldn't survive this kind of sustained assault. Crash. The entire glass wall shatters into pieces. Zhang Fan and I are suddenly fully visible to everyone. The thugs' jaws drop. They finally understand what Flower Ghost meant by, right in front of you. And now they're staring at two kids who apparently materialized out of nowhere. So, we spent all that time searching while they were just casually chilling there the whole time? Guns snap up instantly, aimed dead at both of us. Everyone waiting for Flower Ghost's order to turn us into Swiss cheese. Don't do anything reckless, Zhang Fan says calmly, watching me ready more mirror shards. She's a Tier 3 ability user. My hand twitches involuntarily. Tier 3? Same level as Renee? If she were Tier 2, maybe, we'd have a fighting chance. But Tier 3, full health, no exploding arm handicap, we're toast. Honestly, surrendering might genuinely be the safer move here. Ahaha. Big sis, I think there's been a misunderstanding here. We were just trying to play a fun little hide-and-seek with everyone. Ha ha ha. I babbled desperately, my smile somehow worse than crying. Flower Ghost just stares at me coldly, internally surprised. She'd assumed they bypassed the restraints with some trick, but checking, both metal blocks are still fully intact. Which means, one of them has immunity to the restraint itself? No wonder the envoy wanted them studied. Can't kill these two outright. But, crippling them a little should be fine, right? Don't worry, little guy. Sis is just teasing, she says, smiling sweetly, a chill running underneath every word. Want to play rock, paper, scissors with me? My eyes light up. Games. I'm great at games. Sure. How do we play? Guess whether I can kill you with one punch. That is not how rock, paper, scissors works, lady. My grin freezes mid-face, somewhere between laughing and crying. Oh, I guess no. A cool, unfamiliar female voice cuts in. Flower Ghost spins, scanning the room. There's no other woman here besides her. Where did that voice come from? Boom. A massive crash erupts from outside, followed by a wave of shattering glass. Every window on this side of the building blows out simultaneously, wind howling through the breach, knocking everyone off balance. Through the wind, a woman steps in through the broken window, a white trench coat snapping in the gust, long hair whipping wildly, an invisible pressure flooding instantly through the entire space. Right behind her, a silver-haired girl steps through too, dark gemstone eyes scanning the room curiously, like she's hunting for something specific. Wait, my brain stutters. These are my mysterious hotel neighbors. I distinctly remember nearly suffocating under that woman's gaze alone last time. They're superpowered too? Are they Gauchin? My eyes light up, and I immediately start waving like a maniac. Senior, are you guys with Gauchin? Did you come to save us? The woman glances over, surprise flickering briefly before her mouth curves slightly. We're not Gauchin. My excitement instantly deflates, but her next sentence revives it instantly. But we did come to save you. The silver-haired girl studies me closely, eyes sparkling with something unreadable. Who are you two? Flower Ghost demands, locking onto the woman, clearly on full alert. She can feel raw dominance radiating off this stranger. Also, wait. Floor 50. How did these two just casually walk in through a window midair? She glances outside and frowns. There, floating outside the broken window, a pale blue object hovers steadily in midair. Is that ice? Before she can process it, the woman turns and shoots her one dismissive glance. Flower Ghost's entire body trembles uncontrollably, raw fear flooding her system. Compared to this woman, her own mental fortitude feels like a single blade of grass caught in a hurricane. That one glance is enough to completely break her composure. You think you're even worthy of knowing who I am? The woman says coldly, pure dominance radiating off every word. Zhang Fan and I both just stare, speechless. She subdued Flower Ghost with a single look? Who even I asked this woman? Zhang Fan's whole body suddenly tenses, staring at her, something clicking in his head. Master, let me handle this one. The silver-haired girl volunteers. The woman considers it briefly, then nods. Sure, she's decent enough. Good practice for you. Flower Ghost feels her knees go weak, nearly collapsing, cold sweat soaking through her back, gasping for air. The silver-haired girl walks calmly toward her, expression completely blank. Go ahead. Make your move. A wave of pure humiliation crashes through Flower Ghost. Never once since gaining her pattern has someone broken her composure with a single look. Except, fine, she'll admit the older woman is just out of her league. Whatever. But you? Some baby-faced girl who hasn't even fully grown into her power yet. Rage ignites. Her calf pattern flares, and the rose petal storm explodes back into existence, swarming the silver-haired girl with savage intensity. Watch out, I scream, knowing exactly how lethal those petals are, full armor-piercing force. A direct hit would shred a person instantly. The older woman just tilts her head slightly, glancing at my panic with quiet amusement. The silver-haired girl pauses for half a beat, white light flashing from her collarbone, then stomps her foot. A massive ice spike erupts from the ground, freezing most of the red cloud solid. Ice. Of course it's ice, Flower Ghost realizes grimly behind her mask. Her absolute worst matchup. The remaining petals split into 3 razor-sharp blades, attacking from 3 angles simultaneously, cutting off every possible escape route. The girl shows zero fear, simply pulling a pure white longsword out of thin air with one smooth motion, swinging it once. A glittering frost dragon erupts from the blade, wrapping itself protectively around her. The 3 petal blades slam into the dragon's body, and don't cut so much as a scratch. The dragon's frost spreads across the petals instead, slowing them visibly until they freeze solid midair. What kind of power is this? Flower Ghost's eyes go wide with disbelief. She's never heard of an elemental-type ability that can manifest an actual living creature. Frost creation, the girl says calmly, hair flowing in the wind, sword held steady. My jaw drops watching this. Flower Ghost is genuinely tier 3, and this girl is just completely dominating her? Is this fragile-looking girl also tier 3? Frost creation. Flower Ghost mutters to herself, then suddenly stares at the silent older woman, eyes flooding with shock. I know now? You're beep. Flower Ghost's radio crackles to life. a panicked male voice cutting through. Lady Flower Ghost. Some guy in glasses with a giant wooden case broke through the front lobby. Says he's here for his junior. We can't stop him, he's already cleared floor 6. Flower Ghost's brain stops processing the radio entirely. She's already given up, despair flooding her behind the mask. The older woman smiles at me. Looks like Gauchin sent someone for you. My eyes light up instantly. Finally, and from the sound of it, this senior's apparently a one-man wrecking crew. Boss, you hear that? Gauchin's here. Zhang Fan nods absent-mindedly, eyes flicking between the woman and the girl repeatedly, clearly processing something. The silver-haired girl frowns, sword tip pointed at the now-defeated, shell-shocked Flower Ghost. Why'd you stop fighting? Fighting? Flower Ghost laughs bitterly, pointing at the older woman. Even if I beat you, can I beat her? What's the point of even trying? Before the girl can respond, Flower Ghost's calf pattern flares one last time. Poof! She explodes into a cloud of rose petals, swept up by the wind, out through the broken window. Chishua. She's escaping, the older woman says calmly, watching the petals scatter. Before she even finishes the sentence, the girl's eyes sharpen, and she leaps straight out the window after the fleeing petals, 50 floors up. Wait, it's floor 50, I shout, genuinely panicking watching her dive. The woman waves it off lazily. Relax. She'll be fine. Outside, wind howls against the building's exterior. The rose petal cloud streaks straight down the vertical glass surface, the sword girl chasing right behind, each footstep on the glass forming a tiny ice patch to keep her balance, silver hair whipping like a white cloud behind her. The gap between them closes with terrifying speed. On floor 36, the glasses-wearing assistant, wooden case strapped to his back, stepping casually over a pile of dead thugs, catches a flicker of movement out the corner of his eye and frowns, confused. Can't let her escape any closer to the ground. Too risky, too visible. Need to end this now, the silver-haired girl mutters, collarbone pattern flaring bright. She draws a circle in the air with her sword, shouts sharply, and a blinding white beam fires out, impossibly fast. The petal cloud gets engulfed instantly, frozen mid-air into a massive ice column, the trapped rose pattern glowing eerily beautiful under the sunlight. Without pausing, she plants a foot on the glass and launches like a meteor straight at the ice pillar, slashing several times in rapid succession before landing perfectly steady on the vertical surface. Crack, crack, crack. The ice column shatters into a cloud of tiny fragments, drifting gently downward. The rose petal cloud itself disintegrates entirely into dust, vanishing. Huh? Why's there snow in the middle of summer? A pedestrian on the street mutters, wiping their face. Don't be dramatic. Probably AC runoff from one of these buildings. He looks up, clear blue sky, sun blazing overhead, completely normal. Up on the building, unnoticed, the girl watches the last ice crystals drift away, dismisses her sword, silver hair gently brushing her face. She turns and floats off. Back on floor 50. Holy crap, that was insane. I'm gaping, having watched the entire Sword vs. Flower Ghost showdown unfold. This is what Tier 3 actually looks like. Compared to these people, I'm basically a baby lamb wandering into wolf territory. The girl steps gracefully back through the window, glancing at my obviously starstruck face. A faint blush colors her cheeks, and she opens her mouth to say something. Ding. The elevator chimes from down the hall. The doors slide open. The bespectacled young man scans the area, frowns slightly toward one direction, hesitates, then walks straight toward us. Qingya? Is that really you? The older woman says, mildly surprised, watching him approach. The young man freezes, recognizes her face, and immediately drops into a deep, formal bow. Gauchin Secretary Qingya, greeting Her Majesty the Ice Sovereign, and greeting the Ice Sovereign's successor.